the system.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, the Heelest of Balor, Sin Balor, Prince Balor. You all know the rest. I'm your co-host for the Losers Lounge podcast, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back. We are back to discuss tables, ladders, and chairs. And in what my opinion was a pretty good pay-per-view. That's right, folks. You heard it here. A very good pay-per-view. Not a bad pay-per-view. Not a very good pay-per-view. Just a good pay-per-view overall. But I'm not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with another friend of mine. He is a loser himself. The leader of the optimistic empire, Christian Maracle. How's it going?
I will be honest that it's amazing that last year, we did our 50th episode, and now we're on our 51st episode. And, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the very last Losers Lounge podcast of the year, and, of course, the very last Losers Lounge podcast of the decade, going into the 2020 year.
Crazy.
Another news, guys, the Double R Wrestler Ryan is not here. He is not feeling well today, which is a shame. It's that time of the year where everybody's getting sick. However, he wanted us to tell you that he loves you guys, and he will be back in 2020 when we get to the Royal Rumble season.
Oh, yeah.
But also, Heel Balor, as we all know, KELSEY, Connor, we love them. They're obviously not here, but they are losers for life.
You can't separate us. You can't stop us.
Exactly. Anyways, Heel Balor, I believe you have some stuff you have with like questions.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Miracle. We had questions. As last week we told y'all, actually the week before that, we told y'all that we were going to be doing a Q&A. We didn't get to them last week because we had a busy day last week. Discussing TLC.
Bro, you sounded like a sheep right there. Bad.
Sound like the wrestling community out there. Sheep. Like a sheep out there.
Not to mention a majority of the Star Wars fan base. Oops.
Oh, yeah, so true. Bunch of sheep, bunch of nerds out there.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have some questions here for the Losers Lounge. Not that many, but I'm going to choose a few of them. And since there's only two of us today, we'll answer all of them. Actually, we'll answer only two of them. No, actually three. The rest of them from a few days ago. All right, let me kick it off here. This is from my friend Andrade Blazer 23 on Twitter. He says, Who should you face any wrestling, any match type at any pay-per-view? Who should it be? I don't really get that question. I think I guess it's meant to say if you were to face any wrestler. I guess that's what it's meant to say.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I think it's what it meant to say. If you were to face any wrestler. My hero, Finn Balor, obviously.
For me, I'll be perfectly honest. I wouldn't mind having a match with AJ Styles.
You put a banger there, bro.
Because for one thing, AJ is, no pun intended, quite a phenomenal performer, and at the same time, he really knows how to sell great moves, carry on a lot of great matches, and I think it would be actually a really cool thing to see the Phenomenal One take on the Sinner.
Oh yeah. That'd be a cool match. That would be a cool match.
As for stipulation, if there's a stipulation, I just wanted a regular wrestling match because that's what I'm all about. Just a regular wrestling match. Doesn't have to be friggin' weapons involved.
Yeah, I'd probably put on a 5-star match with Balor, obviously, and he'd probably win the Demon, and I'd bring my losers out there, and I'd be beaten up, so I'd lose. Yeah, I would put my hero over. And if I were to face my other hero, maybe Becky Lynch in an intergender match, because that'd be fun. That would legitimately be fun.
I bet even Becky. Actually, I don't even think that qualifies as intergender if she calls herself the man.
That is very true. I wouldn't mind having a match with Becky. It'd be fun. Intergender or whatever. That'd be cool. Bring back intergender wrestling.
Yeah, it would.
All right. The other question is from Thomas. At the Crazy Thomas on Twitter. He says, how long has Losers Lounge podcast existed?
Ooh, very nice question. Heel Balor, do you mind?
I guess I'll do a little bit of it. We've existed for about 2 years now, 3-ish years. We started a little bit in 2016. We became friends around that time. I met Christian around that time. It was first Conor Riley. I first met Conor Riley first around that time. We started on PlayStation. I met Double R around towards the middle of 2016, probably I'd say March or April-ish. Kelsey was next, and then I met Christian. I met Christian through Conor Riley, and we hit it off. We started talking on Skype for the past few weeks. And it just began to start from there. Our name, Christian, how did our name start, actually? I don't know who started off the name.
Well, we wanted to come up with some sort of name to fit our group because we realized we were hanging out for so long, and we were like, we should call ourselves like a stable name or something. But at the same time, we couldn't come up with anything, and we're like, well, let's think about what we do. What do? We just sit around. We sit around on Skype all day. We talk about wrestling. We debate back and forth about wrestling. For one thing, quite a number of us, we sit in nice little comfortable chairs. Probably others do not sit in comfortable chairs, but some think of it as like a gathering or a lounge. And we're a bunch of people who talk about wrestling. So I'm like, hey, how about this? How about this? People would probably say like, oh my God, you guys talk about wrestling all the time? Y'all are a bunch of losers, because we actually were called that so many times in our childhood because we like wrestling.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And other people around us, they did not like wrestling. So I'm like, we've been called losers all the time because of that. So we decided to take advantage of it, saying, you know what? We're not going to use that as an insult. We're going to use that as a compliment. So yeah, we are losers. How about this? We'll call ourselves Losers Lounge, the double L, Losers Lounge. Most people take the L. We're the ones who embrace the L.
Oh, yeah. And
Here's
you can't stop us, and you can't be us.
Think about this. We may be losers, but we always win.
Oh, yeah.
We could come up with really kick-ass catchphrases from this.
Oh, yeah. And if you want to hear our full story, go listen to our WrestleMania predictions. That's where we tell our full story.
It's the 6-hour podcast.
One more question, and we can freaking move on.
It's the 6-hour podcast, folks. But it's
6-hour podcast.
However, you'll be happy to know it's at the very start of it, so don't worry. You don't have to search very far.
Yeah. Our longest podcast to date so far, so maybe 20 break. But anyways, moving on. One more question, then we'll move on to TLC. Are you guys planning on hitting any Southern pay-per-view events? Also, what are your guys' dream matches? I haven't really been to any pay-per-views, believe it or not. I think that might be a question for Christian.
Well, let's just say, I've been to many pay-per-views. Everybody always obviously knows that. But I will say my first pay-per-view was in 2006. I was at Unforgiven. In 2006, it was in my Kingdom of Toronto. And on that night, DX took on the McMahons at Big Show in Hell in a Cell, and Edge took on John Cena in a TLC match.
Good times, 2006.
Where Edge was
cheered. Also with you guys,
Edge was cheered like crazy, and John Cena was booed out of the building.
God, that was a good time. 2006 was fun.
I
need to build a time machine.
My favorite pay-per-view I ever attended, aside from WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, let's just say any of the non-Big Four events, was Armageddon in 2008. I witnessed Jeff Hardy win the WWE title in person.
Oh, sweet. I've only been to a live event, and it was back in 2012.
Yeah, you know what? That's going to change one day. That'll change one day.
Oh, yeah, guarantee you. It's going to change.
Once we find a chance to do this, the losers, we'll find you, man. We'll come get you, and we will go to, like, a freaking pay-per-view event. We'll go freaking WrestleMania.
That's where we're freaking made up, bro.
Hashtag LLMania.
God, remember. Losers Mania. Get that shit trending in the hashtags down there, bro. God.
All right.
We got one more question here. If you were to face... wait, wrong question. Also, what are you guys' dream matches? God, there's so many. Yeah, well, this match already happened. This was back in 2017, Finn Balor and AJ Styles. That happened at TLC. I think the other dream match I'd love to see is Brock Lesnar and Keith Lee.
Not bad.
That'd be fun.
For my case, a dream. I'll finally admit it. I finally have a dream match that I really want to see.
Ooh, what's that?
And that is The Fiend versus the Demon, Finn Balor.
Fingers are freaking crossed. Fingers are freaking crossed. That happens.
We'll talk more about that stuff as we get to later, because I'll flat out just admit it. I hope that Finn Balor, despite being in NXT, wins the Men's Royal Rumble match, because if NXT might be a part of the Royal Rumble situation, as we've heard in rumors, then in my opinion, Finn Balor could be a favorite to win it. And despite being part of NXT, he might want to go after the Fiend and get the Universal title.
You know dang well I'll be down for that. And as we're recording, ladies and gentlemen, as of today, Finn Balor will be fighting Adam Cole for the NXT Championship tonight on NXT. So, yeah, Finn Balor could be the NXT Champion tonight. Who knows? But yeah, that's questions. If you got any more, please send it to us. We'll take a look at them using the hashtag LL. I'm kidding. Don't use that hashtag. You can use it if you want to. But, send us questions and we'll probably answer them in the latest episodes. Moving on.
It's pretty much like, yeah. However, I will also say one more thing before we move on.
What's that?
Like I said, I hope Finn Balor potentially is the one who wins the Men's Royal Rumble. When it comes to the women, I hope it'll be Ronda Rousey. So she could get the one-on-one with Becky in WrestleMania.
I kind of am going to go differently, but we'll talk about, my pick when we get to the Royal Rumble itself.
And I also mentioned something right here. Matter of fact, actually, let's do a little advertising, shall we?
Let's do it. Exactly, freaking please.
All right, Losers Lounge Podcast, episode number 51, is brought to you in part by Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, in theaters everywhere, Thursday, December 19th. By the point of this release video, it is in theaters now, so go ahead and go see it, or if you don't want to see it, that's all up to you. It's the culmination of the Skywalker saga, of the sequel trilogy, and I personally, by the time of this video's release, I have already seen it, and might go see it again. But as the time of recording, I've not seen it yet. I'm seeing it tomorrow on Thursday. Movie is going to be definitely exciting because I'm a massive Star Wars fan. It's the culmination of over 50 movies I have seen in 2019. Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker, in theaters now.
Get yourself some Mountain Dew. Drink it, damn it.
All right, now it's time to move on and talk about what we came to see. And
TLC.
Yep. What we came to TLC. Okay, that was too bad. You can't TLC me.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah, that was really bad. All right, but anyways, like Willie said at the start of this podcast, TLC was not bad, but at the same time, not entirely good. So it's more of a mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
has a mix, but we find more positives in this pay-per-view and qualified enough as a good pay-per-view to pass. So, ladies and gentlemen, from our perspective, there has not been a single bad pay-per-view in 2019.
That is correct.
A clean sweep.
Surprisingly.
In 2018, there was multiple bad pay-per-views.
Oh, yeah.
Hell in a Cell 2018 was bad. Here's the thing. The only good thing about Hell in a Cell last year was Jeff Hardy, Randy Orton.
Oh, yeah.
All the rest was probably a little bit of a meh, and then the main event was bullshit. Hell in a Cell 2019, yes, had a bullshit main event ending, I'll admit that finally. However, the rest of the show was great.
Mm-hmm.
So, a big chunk was taken out, but not enough to qualify it as a bad pay-per-view, because you gotta rate the overall event, not just the main event.
Correct.
Not to mention, when it comes to last year, other bad events included the Super Showdown from Australia and, of course, Crown Jewel.
Oh, God. Bad.
But then hope was sparked in the air when TLC last year was actually really good.
It was. It really was.
But then all of a sudden, in 2019, when we thought that things would probably never get any better, we had a complete year full of great NXT TakeOver shows and great main roster shows.
Yep.
I would probably say the worst out of all of this was the Super Showdown from Saudi Arabia, but even that was just a little bit above average.
Just average to me. Like, looking back at these months and how many pay-per-views we had over the past few months, like, it started from the Royal Rumble. Like, the Royal Rumble was fantastic. I loved it. The winners were great. They gave everyone, that's when we got to WrestleMania, they gave everybody everything they wanted. With the Royal Rumble, like, Becky Lynch won the Rumble, Seth Rollins won the Rumble. Eric Rowan was revealed to be with Daniel Bryan. We had Becky Lynch and Asuka.
Yeah,
it was great.
That, here's the thing. Let's look at 2019 as well really quickly, folks.
Let's do it.
As we all know, the NXT TakeOver shows, all of them are automatically qualify as good shows. But
hell yeah.
Main roster-wise, Elimination Chamber was also great, specifically when Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston were the final two in the chamber.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
That moment went on for almost 20 minutes, and I'm glad it was just those two for almost 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I thought Kofi was going to win the title. I remember.
Yeah, and Fastlane, I attended Fastlane.
Oh, yeah, Finn won the NXT title. Oh, yeah, Finn won the Intercontinental title, not the NXT title.
Was that a spoiler alert?
I wish.
Because
I hope
he is challenging the title tonight.
He is.
Let's see. Royal Rumble, also great. Actually, no, Royal Rumble was great. The Double or Rice to Ryan was at ringside for that, and Rice to Ryan was also at ringside for Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And I was not at ringside, but I was attending Fastlane. So the first 4 pay-per-view events in 2019 were attended by a loser.
Oh, yeah.
Fastlane. I was in Cleveland, Ohio for that. I still remember Cleveland. It's a wonderful place. And Fastlane, as we all know, over the years, was bad. This was the only good one.
Oh, yeah. Facts, dude.
I mean, here's the thing. When we looked at Fastlane in 2019, we saw great matches. Whether it was, I'll be honest, the Usos and Miz against Miz and Shane McMahon with Shane's heel turn. That was very good.
Yeah, good.
Samoa Joe versus Andrade, R-Truth, and Rey Mysterio on the 4-way for the U.S. title. That was impromptu, but it was good.
It was.
The Revival versus Aleister Black and Ricochet and Bobby Roode and Chad Gable was also good.
That was fun.
Daniel Bryan versus Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens for the WWE title. Wow.
That was great.
And in some ways, even the main events of Shield versus Corbin, Lashley, and McIntyre was good. Good enough to at least pass, so... We were like, holy shit, this stuff's actually good.
Surprisingly.
WrestleMania was fantastic. Favorite pay-per-view of the year.
Obviously. Yes, WrestleMania, Birthday Mania, you all know it well.
Yep. Even then
I still think they were listening to me.
We looked to Money in the Bank, where Bayley won the women's Money in the Bank ladder match and then cashed in on Charlotte Flair to win the SmackDown women's title.
Yep.
That was really good. I'll be honest, even Shane McMahon and The Miz in the cage match was actually not bad.
That was fun.
What else we got here? Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the Universal title. We worried that was going to be bad, but it was very good. And even Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens for the WWE title was good.
That was not bad at all. Very good.
And like the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, the only downside of it was Brock Lesnar showing up and winning, but the rest of the 18 minutes was outstanding.
My boy Finn Balor took a lot of punishment in that match, but that was a great match.
It was. So, like, here's the thing. While Brock Lesnar indeed winning did ruin it, yes, that doesn't mean that, the whole show was bad or the whole match was bad.
Nah. No.
And then we comes to the Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. That was just okay. It was enough to qualify as, okay, it's a pass.
Big house show.
Where Demon Finn Balor versus Andrade was great.
Match of the night. I'm not saying that because I'm a Balor fanboy. That was legitimately match of the night.
Even Randy Orton and Triple H was not that bad.
It went too long, in my opinion. Yeah, but it was good.
It went too long. It was all right. Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler was okay, not the best, but the 51-man Battle Royal was actually really cool.
It's confusing, but very good. I enjoyed it.
But of course, the Undertaker Goldberg main event was just horrible.
Yeah, go back and listen to our review of that. We're not gonna say it here.
Yeah, it's understandable in that case.
Yeah.
And then of course, there's also Stomping Grounds. That was when we first.
The pay-per-view that literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was literally quote an out of nowhere event that mostly just had rematches. Where we were like, I don't know if this is a good idea or some of that. I don't know if we're gonna like this one. We ended up loving it.
We loved it, man. Like it was good.
Yeah, like when we looked at the matches, we were like, "Holy shit, this was actually not that bad." We were taken aback by so many great things that happened. One of my favorite moments of that night was the moment in Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler in the cage match. The way Kofi escaped the cage by leaping out of the ring.
Yeah, the way Kofi escaped the cage. That was great.
He leaped out of the ring and sacrificed himself. Huh?
We were like, dang.
Match of the freaking night was New Day versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yes. Oh my God. Because going into that match, I remember saying to myself, you know what? This is like a thing you put on a house show. It turned out to be literally match of the night for me. That was great. I was blown away. I even like Ricochet and Samoa Joe for the U.S. title when Ricochet won the belt. I freaking marked out so hard. I was so happy. Samoa Joe really knew how to, make things look believable. He did a good job. Mm-hmm. He did. And then, ladies and gentlemen, Extreme Rules took place. I like how we're just going over the pay-per-view saying how they were all great. I know.
look at Extreme Rules, where The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane and Drew was actually a fun match.
I believe they kicked off the show, correct?
It did, yeah. And we were like, wait, what? It's kicking off? Well, it's probably not going to be that good then. But it was great.
It was very good.
The Undertaker, Roman Reigns, that was actually really good. Aleister Black versus Cesaro was match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
Even AJ Styles Ricochet for the U.S. title was fun.
That was good.
Let's see, what else we got? I'll be honest.
The mixed tag.
The mixed tag was...
The mixed tag.
It was okay. It was okay.
The ending, though, when Brock Lesnar cashed in.
Was fun.
and had me smiling.
And it was like, here's the thing, that was enough for us to be grading it as it was a pretty good show. Not bad. SummerSlam. SummerSlam, my Kingdom of Toronto.
Oh, yeah. SummerSlam. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Let's see. Becky Lynch and Natalya in the submission match. Whoa.
Surprisingly, it was very good.
Yeah. Another AJ Styles Ricochet wonderful match. Let's see. Charlotte and Trish was okay, but it was just proof enough that Trish could still have one more left in her.
Yep.
Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton was all good, but then it ended in a double count out.
Yeah, we're all confused. I remember that.
And even if it was only a couple minutes long, The Fiend versus Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Scared the living hell out of me in that arena. It scared the living hell out of Long Neck Josh.
I remember. Go watch the vlog, guys. It was so funny.
We were both freaked the hell out.
That really hurt watching that.
And Seth Rollins beating Brock Lesnar again.
Surprisingly. Yeah. Beating Brock Lesnar. Because I remember going into the event, we were like, no, Seth is going to get killed.
And then he didn't.
He ended up winning.
So it was quite a crazy time. Of course,
very good show.
Everybody knows that was what caused the quote the Sinfinity War.
Yep.
That was really fun. Clash of Champions was also good.
Oh boy. It was.
Another pay-per-view that fell under the it was okay category.
Mm-hmm.
All the titles were on the line. The best match that took place was like Revival versus New Day for the SmackDown tag titles.
It was good.
Yep. Sasha and Becky was actually really good.
That was so much fun.
Sure, it ended in disqualification, but it's still okay.
And some guy got mustard in his hair, which was freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Let's see. As we all know, Eric Rowan and Roman Reigns was not that bad, especially when Luke Harper suddenly showed up.
Yeah. Well, the freaking place marked out so on. That was great.
Because I'll be honest, I thought at first, I remember I said I thought that was Rowan who kicked him.
Yeah.
Looked up and I was like, wait, what?
Luke Harper.
I mean, he's not with us anymore in the WWE. And here's the thing. I just want to take a quick moment and say, wherever Luke Harper or potentially Brody Lee's going to end up, I hope he has a wonderful time.
Yep. Wish you all the best, brother.
And of course, Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman wasn't the best, but at least Braun's defeat was believable, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, okay, that was at least good for that reason.
And then
Hell in a Cell, the polarizing show with
Hell in a Cell.
Here's the thing. Let's go. As we all know, the big problem with that, of course, was Seth Rollins and The Fiend ending in a match stoppage, which should not have happened. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. And storyline wise, it was a good way to go. But let's look at the other matches. Becky Lynch and Sasha inside the cell.
God, that was so much fun.
And even Daniel Bryan and Roman versus Rowan and Harper.
That was good. Like, surprisingly, I remember everyone going into that match, it's going to suck, it's going to be bad. Nope.
It was really good. We were like, holy shit. And it was a tornado tag as well, so they were all in the ring.
Yep.
Randy Orton versus Ali. Whoa.
Oh, my God, that was awesome.
I mean, honest, like, this event had multiple impromptu matches, but even some of those impromptu matches did very good. Randy Orton and Ali was one of them.
I remember because I think they went in the show with, like, I'd say 4 matches or 3. I think it was. Yeah. And, they had to, do matches on the fly.
Yep. Kabuki Warriors versus Alexa and Nikki. While that was okay, it was at least passable.
Yeah, they won the tag titles, which was fun. I liked it. It was very shocking.
Yeah, we have, of course, while other matches were, not that good, like Chad Gable and King Corbin, where Shorty G first became a thing.
Yeah.
Charlotte and Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title was also okay. I mean, congrats, Charlotte, becoming 10-time champ. she ended up
Yeah.
losing the title back to Bayley anyway, so.
Charlotte and Bayley threw a hissy fit afterwards, and I knew what was coming next.
And then, of course, the one event where we thought the streak was going to end, and that was Crown Jewel. And yet, Crown Jewel was one of the best pay-per-views of the year.
Yeah, I don't think we did a review on it.
No, we didn't because I believe I was out with a mental illness. And once again, guys, I apologize for this.
Yep.
I apologize for being absent because of the mental illness. But
we were pretty upset we didn't get able to review it, but it was, for me, it was great. It was really great.
While Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez, and Tyson Fury and Braun Strowman were the two main hype, and they weren't that good. They were at least good enough. We were like, okay, not bad. I mean, I'll be honest, Tyson Fury kind of impressed me.
Yep.
Match of the night, Mansoor versus Cesaro.
Surprisingly, going into that, I was like, it's going to be a good match. But I was blown away.
Yeah, I give it a 4-star rating.
I think the women had their first match in Saudi Arabia. Lacey Evans. Yeah, it was Lacey Evans and Natalya.
And sure, the match was flat. However, what we will say is what we mainly praised was the fact that this was the first women's match in Saudi Arabia history. So we got to give a lot of props to them for that.
Very big props.
Let's see. Even the freaking tag team turmoil match was very good.
Yep.
It was 30 minutes. 30 minutes long. The best part of that match was Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus Lucha House Party, because Lucha House Party performed like holy shit.
Yep.
I'll be like, where the hell was this when they came in?
Yeah.
I mean, here's what else we got? AJ Styles and Humberto Carrillo. Wow.
Yeah, crowd didn't care for it, but I loved it.
Team Hogan versus Team Flair was, oh, yes.
Yes. Good match. I loved it.
Yep. And even, of course, the culmination of The Fiend winning the Universal title in Falls Count Anywhere match.
Mark out moment. Yes.
So that's why we're like, Crown Jewel, surprised the living hell out of us. It was not just one of the best pay-per-views of 2019, but the best pay-per-view they ever had in Saudi Arabia. And how cool would it be if all the Saudi events were like that?
If only.
If only. But, it is what it is. Survivor Series, of course. I was attending there in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
They had a lot of great matches on that. Best ones had to be, for one thing, the Survivor Series matches with the women and with the men. And, of course, you can't forget about Roderick Strong, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Adam Cole and Pete Dunne for the NXT title.
Match of the night.
Yep. Even The Fiend versus Daniel Bryan was really good.
I enjoyed that.
Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, in my opinion, was done really good. Even the way it
should have been invented.
Should have been invented, yes. However, of course, the women's main event was flat. Well, we know that.
Very flat.
Very flat, but at least not enough to qualify the entire show as bad.
Nah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the one we're about to review right now, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, was also a good show. All right, we're almost
saying that because we're WWE sheep or WWE marks, which we hate that term, marks and smarks, whatever. We're doing that because we like to do it. And your opinion also doesn't matter if you write in the comments down below. Unless they're good opinions. If they're bad opinions, we don't care.
Yeah, we're almost half an hour in this, and we're just now getting to the... But here's the thing, it's understandable. This is the last Losers On podcast of the year, so we want to go through all the pay-per-views really quickly. Like a quick summary of all the good pay-per-views that we saw, which was, all of them.
I bet you're all wondering in the comments, hey, what about AEW? What about All Elite Wrestling? They had good pay-per-views too.
Yeah, I'll be honest, let's see. In my opinion, AEW, let's see, Double or Nothing, All Out, and Full Gear were all good shows. Fyter Fest and Fight for the Fallen were bad shows.
Yep. Enough said. Moving on.
3-2.
Yep.
However, I guarantee AEW has a wonderful future, and we, in the Losers Lounge, are very excited to review and predict more of those shows as time goes on.
We are. So keep your pants on, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on tight and get ready for a hell of a ride, because we'll still be reviewing AEW. We haven't lost on it. We're not, going to be keep catering to WWE people, but we're going to be doing our own thing. AEW, we can keep catering to it.
And after we're done this, when we come back for the new year, folks, we are going to be discussing and predicting, first off, NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2, which will take place January 12, 2020. So we will be predicting pretty much a week after the new year. So we'll see you guys in 2020 for that. But in the meantime, it's time to review TLC.
TLC.
We kick things off with a ladder match between the New Day and the Revival for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
Oh my God, this was fun.
I am personally glad they made this into a ladder match because these teams have faced off in just regular matches before. They really needed to up the ante since we were at TLC. And thankfully they did when they added a ladder match stipulation to this.
Yeah, because I remember last week as we were doing the predictions video for this, we were thinking, you know what, they're probably going to put a stipulation on this because the match really called for it, you know? A ladder match, I was thinking, like, okay, you can do that. Next morning, like, yes. Put it out, I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. Let's see. New Day, of course, as we all know, they retained the SmackDown Tag Team titles, but we're glad to say there was no bullshit about it.
No, there wasn't. The match was, I wouldn't say amazing. Not like it's one. I would say it's in between for me. It was great.
I gave it a 3.5. I gave it a 3.5 star rating.
I gave it like a say. Yeah, I guess probably good. I was gonna say 4.5. I would say not even close. Probably 3.5. Yep.
So, the Revival, they did wonderfully well. The New Day, of course, like even with the absence of Xavier Woods, we're continuing on, of course. Big E and Kofi Kingston, they really show that even without Xavier Woods around, that the New Day can still remain strong. And I'll be honest, I was concerned that because of Xavier's Achilles tendon injury, that the New Day would be gone soon.
Yeah.
Shockingly, they're doing good. The 7-time champs are still the 7-time champs.
Yep.
And of course, congrats on Kofi Kingston. He's been a tag team champion for over 1,000 days.
What an accomplishment! That's great. My favorite parts of the match, like I freaking loved, there was actually a spot that they did that took me back to 2006 with Armageddon. Remember the spot with Joey Mercury and Jeff Hardy?
Yes.
Yeah, the New Day freaking recreated that here. I was like, oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, I think
freaking to that spot.
Trying to remember if that
nothing really happened.
Unfortunately, I believe I don't know if it was Scott or Dash, but they did not reach it in time.
Nah.
They did not reach the ladder in time, which in my opinion somewhat is a good thing because we all know what happened to Joey Mercury's face that night.
Yeah. Go back and watch if you haven't seen it. We're not going to talk about it here.
That's what the WWE Network is for, guys. Go ahead. And here's the thing. This reminds me, speaking of WWE Network, people are always saying that, they're going to always, cancel the subscription because of bullshit that happens and everything.
Correct.
And I'm like, hey, that also means you can't rewatch any of the great things about WWE.
Yep. Just be crying and whining on the internet like y'all do.
Yeah. But in all fairness, the next match, was also fun.
There was another good spot of the match that I really loved. The big ending from the top of the ladder. That was great.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was great.
God, that was great.
Next match we're talking about, which is also a fun match, Buddy Murphy versus Aleister Black.
Match of the freaking night. Don't at me.
Yep. How great was it when they were both in a mirror formation of the cross legs and everything?
I love that.
Both got up at the same time. It was like, wow, it's like battling your own reflection. It's probably like a foreshadow of Maracle versus Hunterbane.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, folks, more filming on that is going to take place in January as the 500 Sins video nears for Maracle versus Hunterbane, Fate of the Sins.
Sweet.
That's going to be fun. In the meantime, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, the match was 13.5 minutes long, and all of it was fantastic.
Yeah, there was a part of me that thought this was going to be on the pre-show. Not going to lie. I'm glad they made the main card.
At some point, Aleister Black broke his nose on the stairs.
Yeah, he freaking, Buddy Murphy slammed his face into the steel steps. It was hard, very hard.
So at that point, we were like, oh my God, that's quite a lot of blood, huh?
I liked it. It added intrigue to the match.
Yeah, it really did, yeah. People were like, we took a look at Aleister Black saying he's Buddy Murphy's targeting his ribs, so it's hard for him to breathe out of his mouth, but he also can't breathe out of his nose because his nose is broken.
Yep. It's great. It's very, very good. I loved it. The ending sequence was freaking crazy. That's what I loved. I was standing up. I was like, oh my gosh.
1 counter, 2 counter, 3 counter, 4, 5 counter, 6 counter, 7 counter, Black Mass.
Then boom, Black Mass hit, and I'm like, okay, he's done.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. That's really cool.
Boom.
All those crazy counters, and then bam.
There were so many counters in this match. I'm the type of guy, when I watch pro wrestling like this, I'm the type of guy who likes watching the high-flying spots, the stiff shots. I like that kind of stuff. And this match was, it suited me. I liked it. Fast paced, very stiff. I loved it. Great. I'm gonna be watching after this, probably after I record.
Obviously, I'm gonna have to go back to it because you know me. I'm the WWE Center.
Yeah. Yep.
It's my job to look back on it and find the sins of said match. Here's the thing, though. People at this point, people can see an absolutely perfect match, and they probably think that I can't find any sins to it whatsoever. But I'm like, at this point, I've sinned the best of the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
And came out with sins because, even the best of the best has its sins. Nothing.
Yes, sir.
I sinned Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from WrestleMania 25, and yes, while that did remove 100 sins, honestly, at the same time, they still had sins within it.
Yep, very true. Very true.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, my favorite part of the match, of course, was also the culmination, with one counter, like that song I was just singing, 1 counter, 2 counter, 3 counter, 4, 5 counter, 6 counter, 7 counter, Black Mass!
It was just out of nowhere. That's what I like about the Black Mass. I like the RKO. I love it.
Black Mass! Yep, now DC just called me on the phone. They're suing me for copyright infringement. Damn it! What a shame. I did not expect that. I got a call from DC, and now I'm being sued for copyright for using the Batman theme. Well, I am screwed.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, Chris.
That's all good. Anyway, we're going on to the next match. We're on the next match, which was not really an impromptu match because the Viking Raiders announced they were going to do this. The Viking Raiders, it was versus the OC for the Raw Tag Team titles. It was an open challenge, which Gallows and Anderson answered. Right. The match was okay, but then it ended in a double count out, which is always...
Pretends to be freaking shocked.
Here's the thing.
It was just there.
I'll admit, it can be disappointing when matches end in a double count out, yes, but it's all part of the game. Always has been.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, fans are now saying that they should get rid of the idea of countouts in matches. I'm like, no.
Why? Yeah, where are people getting this idea from?
Yeah. Why? Just because I've spent a lot of matches ending in disqualifications and countouts, or the Hell in a Cell ref stoppage thing.
Don't give me a break. People are still on that to this day. It's been since October, guys. Calm down.
Yeah, what happened in the past happened in the past. Get over it. Y'all have a lot more to complain about as the years go on.
Yeah, like ratings and stuff that people for whatever reason care about nowadays. Moving on.
We don't. The only ratings we care about are our own damn ratings.
Yep.
We give WWE and AEW and all wrestling our ratings, saying, hey, here's our rating. There you go.
Boom. And we don't take back our word.
Nope. We never will.
Yeah, the match, it was, as you said, it was okay. The one thing I did not like was the product placement with KFC. I hated that.
Yeah. I don't understand a lot of that because then Carl Anderson got put right through the table, and that's a waste of good chicken.
They're getting their chicken fetish. What the heck, man? Seriously.
They have more of a chicken fetish than Peter Griffin does anytime he fights that giant chicken.
God. Go watch Family Guy, ladies and gentlemen. If you've never watched it, good show. Good show.
Well, actually, we'll go watch the first 8 seasons before whatever happens season 9 afterwards is shit.
Bad. This coming from a big Family Guy fan.
Yeah, here's the thing.
Why are you talking about Family Guy? Whatever. We need to talk about that for completes.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, as we all know, Viking Raiders retain the titles because the match ends in a double countout.
Correct.
As we all know, the following night, the OC managed to get a victory over the Viking Raiders in a non-title match. So, from pretty much from our perspective, this is far from over.
Way far from over. Kill me.
I'd rather not. I need my losers.
Literally, because I don't want to see another match. For me, I thought the opening shot, the guys coming out to accept the challenge was going to be the Usos. We have not seen the Usos since I'd say July. I think July.
Yeah.
Also, what the heck? Who knows?
Yeah. Well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to the next match here, and this match is our first of 2 tables, ladders, and chairs match. King Corbin versus Roman Reigns. King Corbin defeats Roman Reigns, and the match was 22 and a half minutes long, and it fucking sucks!
It sucked.
Sucked.
Bad show. Not bad show. Bad match. Yeah,
Bad
I said
match.
it, guys. Bad match.
Bad TLC. Bad. Very bad.
Very, very bad match.
You're
bad
grounded.
match. Go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
Bad match.
Yeah, let's...
No cookies and milk for you.
I'm actually glad we can actually do this because I've been meaning to talk about this for a while. This match had many chairs, probably 1 or 2 tables, and no ladders involved.
Then what's the freaking point of it? A TLC match? Is it just a TC match? Give me a break, man.
That was more of a chairs match, honestly. They should have just labeled this a chairs match. If it was just, I'll be honest, if this match was a chairs match, then I would have been like, okay, you know, it's okay, it's fine. We can have this as just a chairs match with King Corbin and Roman Reigns because I can understand that. Or probably just, pretty much just to fit the stupid storyline they were doing, let's make it a freaking dog collar match for all we freaking care.
But no, they didn't do it. Literally, the storyline, if you really think about it, the storyline literally followed and needed, that kind of stipulation. What did they hang above the ring? Just
nothing.
I barely watched the match, to be honest. There was nothing. What the heck?
This is honestly worse than R-Truth climbing the ladder at the Royal Rumble match just to get something. Because at least that was entertaining. For this case,
entertaining.
We look up there, we see nothing. It was a TLC match. What the hell's the point of ladders? Exactly, there is no point. They were not used once in the match, but you know what was used? Freaking kendo sticks and dog food! Twice!
I know what was about the ring, Christian. The imaginal brass ring that these wrestlers keep talking about. Give me a break.
And of course, well, Dolph Ziggler shows up, the Revivals show up and everything. Beat down Roman Reigns. Nobody shows up to help freaking Roman after everybody that Roman has helped.
Exactly. Where was Shorty G? Where was Ali?
Actually, Ali said that he was in Chicago. He wasn't at the show anyway, so he had a viable excuse.
He had an excuse.
Shorty G.
Where was everyone else?
Shorty G, no idea. This would have been the perfect time to bring in the freaking Usos. That's
what I was thinking. Where are the Usos, WWE? I'm asking this as a fan. Where are Jimmy and Jay?
I know for a fact that there was the DUI.
What the heck is going on?
I know there was the DUI situation, but that shit got resolved months ago.
Months and months and months ago. Like, what are you waiting for? Where are the Usos? I'm waiting, bro. I don't care if they come back as the Samoan Savages or the freaking, the gangsters, whatever. Just get the Usos back on TV. I'm not even joking, man. For real.
Here's the thing.
It's ridiculous.
So, like I said, mostly weapons that were involved were chairs, kendo sticks, and dog food. Probably 1 table and no ladders. Thus, this was not even a TLC match whatsoever.
Who uses dog food in a wrestling match? That's actually a legit question. Who uses dog food in a wrestling match? Oh, it's entertainment. Well, you have to learn to like kind of stuff like this. First of all, I have to learn to like anything. And second of all, dog food, in my opinion, is not needed in professional wrestling unless it's made for comedy. This was not comedy. This was basically made to make Roman Reigns look stupid.
I mean, sure.
And you know what this tells me, Christian? This tells me they're not done. This tells me they're not done.
I know for a fact that they did this because Roman Reigns calls himself the big dog, but that's just a freaking nickname. A good example of when this was appropriate was the freaking junkyard dog. Now, that was an appropriate time to use that.
Oh, don't even freaking get me started on the big dog mascot that came out a few weeks ago on SmackDown. God!
Here's the thing. If I'll be perfectly honest, I would have actually liked that if it was actually Roman Reigns in that dog costume.
That's what I was thinking. But no,
and he removes the helmet and then beats the hell out of King Corbin, huh?
That's what I was thinking. But no, just some guy in a costume. Give me a break, man. Please, for the love of God, end this storyline for our sake. Get Roman Reigns into something. For the first time ever in a long time, I'm actually going to say this with confidence. Get Roman Reigns in the title shot. Please. Or give him a title shot. Please, at something. Give him something to do other than King Corbin.
As a matter of fact, here's the thing. As right now, in my opinion, I don't think we should see Roman Reigns just yet in the title picture, but put him, I don't know how I would say this, but give him the Intercontinental title or something.
I wouldn't mind seeing him as champion. I mean, Shinsuke Nakamura is kind of holding down the Intercontinental title scene, which, by the way, he is the longest reigning champion in SmackDown history, apparently. Congratulations, Shinsuke.
Wow.
But, really, what are you doing with Roman Reigns? It's a joke. This rivalry is a joke. King Corbin's a joke. Dolph Ziggler's a joke. Bobby Roode's a joke. Roman Reigns is turning out to be a joke. Enough with the storyline, please. End it. God.
I just don't understand why the hell I don't understand why the hell we had to put this into a TLC match because, as we all said before,
I don't know.
Matter of fact, now that we think about it, this event had a ladder match, a tables match, 2 TLC matches, but no chairs match. My opinion, this should have been the chairs match. Then we would have had one of each, and then the TLC main event for the women's tag titles. But now we have King Corbin and Roman Reigns in a TLC match. When, for one thing, only 1/3 of the weapons were coincidentally used most of the time, and most of the other time, without the dog food and candlesticks, it was mostly just like a regular wrestling match. What the living hell?
They don't know what they're doing. They legitimately don't know what they're doing. Like, who in their right mind booked it? First of all, who booked this rivalry? And second of all, who booked this match? For real, whoever's in the back, and we know you guys listen to us, who is booking this rivalry? Why would you book a match like this? There was nothing above the ring. There was nothing at stake. It would have made sense to, like, hang, I don't know, a dog collar above the ring or whatever, or a dog bowl above the ring, or a dog house or whatever. I don't know, man, but what the heck, man? Seriously, there's no need to have this match. Enough. Enough is enough.
Actually, no,
Please,
my opinion would be
no
good.
More.
You know, it would have been great, actually. Here'd be the perfect reason to make this into a TLC match. They actually feud, yes. However, eventually King Corbin will say that because he's the king, he should be on top of the world and should have the top title, so they could make this a number one contenders TLC match. There's a contract above the ring. Winner faces Universal Champion at Royal Rumble.
Yes, but no. Alas, we didn't get that. Stupid morons.
And if King Corbin won that, oh my god, he would die at the hands of the Fiend.
Yeah. Would that mean he would go back to Baron Corbin, technically? King Corbin,
the Lone
Baron
Wolf.
Corbin. Would he get his long hair back? You really think about it?
I highly doubt it, because he was balding anyway.
Not true.
So I think he just wanted to get it over with before it really took place.
Yeah. Caillou! We call him Caillou. Let's go Caillou.
Oh, childhood. Childhood.
Yes. We're 90s kids, all right?
Yep.
God. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, even when King Corbin got the victory with the end of days, there was no crowd reaction to the pinfall.
The crowd was dead.
Perfect time for us to go get another beer or get a freaking hot dog or something.
More dead than Seth Rollins' Universal Championship run.
Oops.
Too soon.
If you want to talk about dead, try his Intercontinental title runs.
Oh,
that's even worse.
His first one was fun.
But anyways, let's actually move on to the next match. We're done ranting about this. But this was actually not that bad. Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. The Firefly Funhouse, Bray Wyatt.
This was so much fun.
His entrance was the best.
I freaking loved his entrance, man. Like, he's coming out, hi, everyone, hi. It's just like waving, yo.
I'll be honest.
High-fiving the fans. I freaking loved it.
Here's the thing. If the Losers Lounge was in the audience, you know what would be hilarious? Mm-hmm. I guarantee.
You jump the barricade and join him?
Well, no, but I guarantee, like, I'll pretend to be like a kid who's watching his favorite kids show, like in the morning or something when he wakes up, and I'll be like, hi, Bray! Hi, Bray! Hi, Bray! Bray, it's me!
Oh my god.
We would do that. We pretend like we're crazy little kids, because I think that's the whole point of this.
It is, like, and I also loved, like, when we get into it in the match, like, I just loved it. The entrance was great, especially his in-ring stuff. It was basically Bray Wyatt being Bray Wyatt with a little bit next to the Fiend. I loved it.
It's just the thing, like, he was taking all that punishment and daring Miz. He got, like, his arm snapped and he was laughing.
Yep. He's freaking laughing at the pain, like he's eating the pain up, and that's what I loved about it.
That's why
someone pointed that to me out on Twitter. They're like, he's eating the pain up, dude. I was like, this makes sense. I loved it.
This is why the Bray Wyatt is absolutely horrifying.
He's horrifying and awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
I loved it.
This is how you do horror in WWE.
Mm-hmm. Not like freaking things like Demon Balor or The Undertaker. I mean, current Undertaker or somebody like that. Like, the Fiend is actually legitimately scary.
And at the same time, dangerous.
It's scary. Yep.
I have a frightening feeling that one day the Fiend's gonna start chewing and eating his opponents.
They'll have to change the freaking rating of the TVMA if that's the problem. Or if that's the case. God, they need to.
That actually would look really cool if you see the Fiend take a chunk out of his opponent like he's Pennywise.
Yes, that's what the Fiend's supposed to be. Makes the Joker and Pennywise. I love it.
Yeah, like Bray Wyatt. If there's anybody that can pull this off, it's Bray Wyatt. Like, who would have thought that when this very year began, Bray Wyatt was nowhere to be found, and we thought he has fallen into a permanent obscurity.
That's what we all thought.
Did you?
And then, weeks after WrestleMania, bam.
Yeah, Willie, did you ever think that when this year began, by the end of this year, Bray Wyatt would be the top talk of the town?
No, not really. I was thinking Bray Wyatt was going to come back as, the cult leader or something like that. But, wow, boy, were we wrong.
When this Firefly Funhouse was first created, well, man, we were like, what the hell is this? And then when we found out, this was Bray Wyatt's creation, we were like, what?
Then the Fiend shut up. We're like, oh my god.
And then when the Fiend started showing up on Raw and everything, and then his first match with Finn Balor. Yeah, his first match with Finn Balor at SummerSlam in Toronto. And I gotta tell you, I'm still looking back on that vlog, and here's the thing, I don't even have to even just look at the vlog. I could just imagine what I can remember.
Yeah.
Sitting in that arena with my brother London Josh and so many other family members. And we personally witnessed the Fiend's first entrance, and we were absolutely frightened, terrified. And here's the thing, guys. Normally, I just say that to be sarcastic and get into the action, but no, I was legitimately frightened. This was real.
This was legit frightened, guys. Legit scared.
Here's the thing.
I don't blame them.
Here's the thing. This is why I'm saying. This is what children always feared, that monster that's under their bed or in the closet. That's what the monster is.
Exactly. I'm hearing so many stories about how, basically, I heard one story when they're in Saudi Arabia for a Crown Jewel, that the crowd, people in the front were actually legitimately terrified of the Fiend. That's just one story, but I've heard so many stories of kids being afraid of Bray Wyatt or grown adults being afraid of the Fiend. It's great. Great. Yeah. And that gets them intrigued and also interested in what's going on in the ring and the story that they're trying to sell. Especially Bray Wyatt, and I loved it.
And here's another story. Want to hear another story? Want to hear another story I heard?
Let's hear it.
Even when there's non-wrestling fans watching a sports game on Fox, suddenly an advertisement for SmackDown pops up and you see the Fiend.
I remember that video.
It scared the shit out of non-wrestling fans too.
I'm like, what the hell is this? I freaking died. I had to explain to people, it's the Fiend. I had to explain to them what the entire thing was. It was so funny. If you're a non-wrestling viewer and the first thing you see is that, I guarantee your first reaction will be like, what the hell is this?
And not in a way of saying, what the hell is this? This is stupid. It's what the hell is this? This is scary.
This is stuff that, as Christian said, stuff that you would see in your nightmares.
This is stuff. This is stuff I have seen in my nightmares, and that's why. How do you think it must have? That's why. How do you think it must have felt for me to? I think it must have felt for me I've had nightmares about creatures like this, and but the creation of my own demon persona of Hunter Bane was created because I've had. I'll be honest. I'll admit it. In my school days, I was bullied a lot, and one day I was bullied to the point where I blacked out, and all of a sudden, when I regained focus, that bully was covered in blood and almost unconscious because he had his ass kicked by me, and everybody else was scared of me. And I had no memory of hurting him whatsoever. And people were like, holy shit, how the fuck did your eyes change color?
Yeah.
And I look in the mirror and everything looks normal to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? But with I'll be honest, at that point I realized each one of us has our own inner demon inside, because there's always that. If there's people with anger issues, there's people who attack or don't even think, and it feels like their bodies are being taken over by something else entirely. They don't think
before they speak or whatever.
Yeah, for my case, that's why I came up with the idea of Hunter Bane, and that's why I'm currently telling a story, which currently is going on very well, and I can't wait to film more about it. But the Fiend is Bray Wyatt's demon.
Exactly. Just how Finn Balor has his inner demon. Yeah, everyone has their inner demons. Everyone has to learn how to channel their inner demons. Whether it's, playing in a fun house and then setting people, and changing, or not setting people on fire, changing people. God forbid the Fiend set someone on fire. I just love how the Fiend and Bray Wyatt, Bray Wyatt legitimately has owned 2019, legitimately. And I don't care who says in the comments below, Bray Wyatt has been the best thing in 2019 in all professional wrestling, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. Bray Wyatt wins the match by Sister Abigail on The Miz. He gets the victory. Yep. Here's the thing. Miz did really good in putting in so much offense on Bray. And I like how Michael Cole and the other commentators were like, Bray Wyatt has not done one single offensive move, and yet he's laughing.
Mm-hmm. He's laughing at the pain. I'm thinking to myself, this man is like sick.
Normally the commentary is annoying. However, the fact that they're confused is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They have no idea what to say about this because they're like, this is scary.
Yep. That's what I like about it.
So that's why I loved it very much for that case. And after Bray Wyatt defeated The Miz, that outline of the Fiend appeared on the Titantron. And in my opinion, this was a Star Wars reference. Did you know that, Willie?
What?
This was a Star Wars reference, honestly. Because the reason I say it's a Star Wars reference is because the Fiend appeared on the screen and Bray Wyatt had just finished off The Miz, won. And in my opinion, the Fiend was telling him, good, Bray Wyatt, good. Kill him.
Do it.
Kill him now. Do it. Yep, do it. And that's why Bray Wyatt went to grab the mallet.
Yep. And then,
out of nowhere, arrived Orange Cassidy. Wait, what?
Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, I saw a picture of someone put Orange Cassidy's shades over Daniel Bryan on a picture, and it looked hilarious and almost accurate.
That's not Daniel Bryan, Christian. That's Bryan Danielson. What you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, as far as we know, it's still Daniel Bryan because Bryan Danielson was bald.
Yeah, I thought he was bald when he first pulled the thing back. Nope, he's Daniel Bryan, 2012 Daniel Bryan, but it's Daniel Bryan nonetheless.
As we all know, Daniel Bryan looks like that because the Fiend ripped out his hair and his beard.
So it wasn't his other hair. So thank God.
Yeah. Oh my God! Could you imagine?
God!
Yeah,
no,
Daniel Bryan got a free waxing courtesy of the Fiend.
God damn! Imagine what the Fiend. Imagine when you wax somebody wax. Oh my God!
Good Lord!
It's a nightmare. That stuff. Yeah, Daniel Bryan appeared, hit the flying knee. It was crowd marked out. It was great. I loved it.
And then Daniel lifted up the hammer, Captain America style.
I love that part.
I'm like, he's worthy. I was honestly thinking that Daniel. Imagine if Daniel wasn't able to lift it.
That would have been hilarious.
It's just like Thor's hammer, but Daniel Bryan is worthy of lifting the Firefly Funhouse hammer.
Yep, he did.
Here's the thing. He's capable of lifting the hammer. Does that mean he's capable of defeating the Fiend?
It's a possibility. He is human after all, if you know what I mean.
My opinion, here's the thing. Here's what somebody should try. Here's a shout out to all the WWE superstars. If you're going to face the Fiend, if it's no disqualification, get the hammer and use it against the Fiend.
Seth Rollins tried that, but he failed.
Use its own weapon, except, of course, Seth never tried to get the actual mallet.
Nah, Seth just, did what he had to do.
The sledgehammer is one thing, but using, this is using somebody's own weapon against them.
Yep.
Because sometimes the best way to defeat them is to use their own weapon.
Bingo.
So who knows, this could work. And not to mention, of course, the red lights, of course, is also what helps with the Fiend. If the Fiend faces the Undertaker can alter the lights.
God, that spectacle alone would be freaking awesome, just for the lights. That'd be so cool.
Okay, I don't understand why I want to say this, but can we somewhat have the Fiend versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and that will be the Undertaker's last one? The Fiend puts him down?
Please? I mean, I would not mind. Would that mean that the Undertaker would turn back into Mark Calloway?
Probably, and then retire from wrestling. But here's why I'm saying that. The Fiend looks dominant, but then all of a sudden the Undertaker raises his arms in the air. They're surrounded by blue light.
Ooh.
That's the Undertaker's signature lights. And then the Fiend starts to lose its power as if it's like being touched by the cross of the Lord or something, huh?
Yeah. Personally, I want Demon Bow against the Fiend, because that'd be great too. But who knows? Who knows what could happen? I legitimately the Fiend and the Undertaker, that's another match people have been wanting to see over the past few months, ever since the Fiend made his appearance. And I personally would not mind that. It would just have to be the right setting and the right story.
Not to mention, of course, who knows? The Fiend attacks only those it remembers because of past feuds, and Bray Wyatt has had quite a feud with the Undertaker.
Yep.
WrestleMania 31. And even Survivor Series in that same year, too. So, they actually have crossed paths before. So, the Fiend The Fiend could go after Taker.
And John Cena.
Not to mention, John Cena.
John Cena and The Fiend. Like, that alone. Like, you thought the robbery with him and Bray Wyatt back in 2014 was crazy. God.
Yeah, it was really
God,
crazy.
With so many things.
But yeah,
Bray Wyatt. WWE, we know you're listening.
But Bray Wyatt and The Miz, pretty good match. The return of Daniel Bryan, or the debut of Bryan Danielson.
It was fantastic. Did the yes taunt, which was, I thought he was going to take off his jacket and reveal the yes shirt was back. But yeah, it was great. Crowd loved it. I loved it. I marked out. It was awesome.
So who knows what will happen next? We'll have to wait and find out on SmackDown.
Who knows?
And now with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going on to the next match, our second to last match. This is a tables match between Bobby Lashley and Rusev. But Jerry Lawler accidentally made a mistake, saying that the tables match was between Rusev and Lana. And I'll be like, that would actually be more entertaining.
It would be more entertaining than the current match we got. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just,
It just wasn't that great. I mean, in some ways it was good, but
yeah, a little bit.
The ending was really messed up when, Lana jumped onto Rusev and eventually let go. Bobby Lashley failed to put Rusev for the first table, but successfully put him through the second.
Yeah, a little botch here and there, but hey, all good.
Yeah, well, it's okay. He doesn't botch as much as Botcho Ronaldo does.
Ha! Damn, I like more Ronaldo, but yeah.
Specifically at NXT.
And fuck Corey Graves.
At NXT War Games 3. I'll just be honest. While writing since the NXT War Games 3, I noticed Mauro Ranallo, or Botcho Ronaldo, botches so many times.
Yeah.
Just like he did at Toronto earlier this year.
Toronto. I love it. Yeah, he botched so many times. I mean, it just happens in pro wrestling. I like Ronaldo more than Graves because at least Ronaldo, to me, is at least easier to listen to. And this is way off topic, but can we please get Jerry Lawler off commentary? I can't stand his ass.
Yeah,
I can't stand him. Period. I'm tired of him.
Yeah, his time is over. Just like, no offense to AEW fans, but Jim Ross's time is over too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jim Ross doesn't know the majority of any of the wrestlers on AEW at all.
He doesn't. Like, no offense, no disrespect to him. I grew up with Jim Ross, but I think it's time for him to step down. Same with Jerry Lawler. It's just that to me, with no offense, no disrespect at all, but with the old guys, it kind of, I don't know, there's something different about the old guys, obviously, since they, you know what I mean, Christian.
Hell, think about this.
You know what I mean?
Jim Ross was best known as a play-by-play commentator over on AEW. He's a color analyst.
Yep.
Excalibur is the one that does the play-by-play.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
I mean, I don't get what they're trying to tell the story with. This is severely off topic, ladies and gentlemen. We don't care. JR, it's just for me personally, JR, he had his prime back in, I'd say, when his last good commentary to me was probably, God, I can't remember. It's been so long. I don't know I have one, but he commentated way better back in the day. It's understandable. Let me try this again. Some people might write in the comments, oh, it's because, his wife, passed away a few years ago. He's probably still grieving from that, which rest in peace to his wife also.
Yes.
Or other stupid stuff other stupid comments. I'm not saying his wife's stuff was stupid, obviously. You know what I mean, Christian? It's he had a better commentating voice back in the day. It's for me personally, it feels like he's not into excuse me, he's not into it anymore. It feels like he's not,
for my case,
in tune with what he's trying to say.
Yeah, for my case, it's because he's getting old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. He's just getting old. It just happens, with Ronaldo. What's your deal with Ronaldo? I actually want to
know. What's my deal with him?
Okay. Why do you Botcho Ronaldo or whatever that shit? He did botch, obviously.
The Botcho Ronaldo is just a nickname created by the WWE Sins character. Created in 2016 because of his constant botches when he first went up to SmackDown.
That definitely, yeah.
In 2016, 2017, he was botching almost all the time. And then, when he came back and decided to do NXT, he was starting to do good, but then all of a sudden the botching started to come back. But what I want everybody here to know is, you don't have to believe me on this, guys, but this is actually truth. I'm actually friends with Mauro Ranallo in real life.
Hey,
not
I heard
enough,
about that.
not
That's
enough
cool.
not enough to consider him a close friend. More like just a friend.
Acquaintance.
And the reason
Yeah.
the reason I say that is because we actually have legitimately spoken with each other on social media, whether it was on a tweet or actually a DM. We talk to each
sweet,
other.
bro.
We can relate because we both suffer from severe depression and quite a lot of mental disorders. As a matter of fact, as everybody knows,
stuff like that.
as everybody knows, I took like 3 weeks off of YouTube because I was dealing with a mental illness earlier this year.
Right.
And Mauro Ranallo recently had another bad bout of depression and bipolar disorder.
It's a lot of freaking Corey Graves, douchebag.
Actually, no. You're actually sorry, but you're wrong. Corey Graves had nothing to do with it.
It just happened. My apologies, Mr. Graves.
Yeah, like here's the thing. You can say Corey Graves is a douche simply because he can be annoying on commentary, or pretty much in that case. Yeah. But people, Corey Graves was not part of the. Corey Graves wasn't part of the Maracle situation whatsoever, and I would know because I wrote a long post about it. Because I'm somebody who can relate to the fact that Morrow started having these more problems. It was starting to kick in for him again because of the. Well, it wasn't because of anything. It's just because this type of stuff, it can hit you again out of nowhere. So there's not always a leading cause of it. Mauro Ranallo also deactivated his Twitter account for this, and I think the reason for that is because he was likely advised to do that at the request of his doctors.
Yep, social media taking a break from that, especially on mental illness. Like I myself personally, I guess. Time to tell a little bit about myself, ladies and gentlemen. I personally, the Heels to Balor's Willie, have autism, and it's mild autism, and it's kind of hard to deal with sometimes. But you have to just go through with it. You have to deal with it. It's kind of hard talking to people sometimes. Kind of hard to talk to people face to face, look them in the eye sometimes. And I really am used to it now. I also have a little bit of form of Asperger's syndrome. That also is very tough to get through. Christian, I think, can relate to the autism thing because, believe it or not, Christian, you have autism as well.
I have autism, Asperger's syndrome. I suffer from severe depression, severe anxiety, ADD, ADHD, IED, Tourette's syndrome, and it's unconfirmed, but I may or may not be bipolar. I don't know. I don't have an official diagnosis of that, but what I want
goes to show you. For everything.
So yeah, I don't have any beef with Mauro Ranallo whatsoever. The Bacho Ranallo thing that you hear on my Sins videos are just an entertainment factor and a nickname my asshole Sins character gave him because of all the botches he says. And yes, you're gonna continue to hear that because and here's actually another thing. I've actually spoken with Mauro. I told him that I created this thing. So I was like, I created this character on the Sins videos. He knows that he actually knows I refer to him as Bacho Ranallo. And I made sure to let him know that, don't worry, this is not a real life thing I have against you. This is just fun of entertainment. I actually posted a clip on the DM. He has seen it and he actually laughed about it.
Well, that's good. At least he takes your stuff as sometimes as fun, entertainment. He knows. Yeah. That's a good thing.
But yeah, back to where the hell were we? Bobby Lashley and Rusev.
Yeah. See, our mind got so sidetracked from that match because the rivalry is all, I don't know, boring.
Yeah, there's nothing really much we can say about that match. So we're just going to go to the main event, which also was kind of disappointing. The main event was a TLC match.
I'm going to say it for a bit. I'm going to save it in a bit. Keep going, Christian. I'm going to say what I have to say in a bit.
Yep. The TLC match for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Finally, the Women's Tag Team titles actually headlined a pay-per-view and actually got some more recognition after months and months and months and months and months of not getting any of that. The Women's Tag Team titles debuted earlier this year and was exciting at first.
What?
And then it was exciting at first when the tag titles were introduced this year.
Correct.
And the title designs, I mean, Willie, what'd you think of the title designs?
Here we go. First seeing the titles, I mean, they look good. My first reaction was like, okay, they look good. Were they needed? No. And it shows. And you all know I'm right. You all know I'm right about that. The women's tag team titles do not need to be here, in my opinion. Do I think the women deserve them? Yes. But the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, there is no tag team division. Yeah, you could say Fire and Bizarre. Yeah, you could say the Iconics. Who? Yeah, you could say Mandy Rose. So obviously, yeah, you could say Nikki Cross and Why don't I say Mandy Rose? Nikki Cross and Sonya Deville. That's why I'm at so many.
I think you meant to say Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. There we go.
But there you go. The fact that
Mandy Rose and Nikki Cross.
Here's the thing. The fact that you're messing up so many names just goes to show that there is no real tag team division anyway.
There is no tag team division. Correct. And like, oh, but what about NXT? What about NXT UK? There's no tag division to me in NXT besides Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke. That's it.
Yeah, they'd probably be the only ones. And even then, it still wasn't good enough. You can add in NXT UK as well, and it still would not be good enough. So the women's tag team titles was created simply because people were begging for it to happen. We're like,
an agenda, Christian. There was an agenda behind this. There's a women's agenda in professional wrestling, especially WWE, and I can't stand it. I don't care who I piss off with that. Yeah. Just my stance on it. I don't like it. Period.
I don't blame you on that.
I hate
whatsoever.
this whole women's sports shit. Yeah. So tired of it.
Yep, I don't blame you for that whatsoever.
Moving on. I'll talk about it a little bit later.
So,
let's talk about the match.
But what I will say is, like, first off, as we all know, Kairi Sane got injured, and that was like, whoa.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Like, from what I saw, I guess it was a little bit of miscommunication. She was, I believe, stiffed a little bit, or powerbombed away by Charlotte, and, she got concussion, and surprise, surprise, Becky Lynch, not the referee, not the cameraman, not Charlotte Flair, not Asuka, no offense. Becky Lynch was the one who noticed it right away, protected Kairi, and made sure Kairi could go. Kairi couldn't go. And if you saw a clip on Twitter, Becky Lynch actually protected Kairi from a few things, and she kept her hidden, surprisingly.
Yep, rolled her under the ring.
Great.
And I gotta say, right now, what we should do right now is let's give a round of applause for Becky Lynch for actually helping out.
Props to Miss Rebecca Quinn. We're using her real name. Props to Miss Rebecca Quinn for looking out for Kairi. That was great. Great sportsmanship. And they're probably friends, you know?
Because she realized Kairi was in a really bad state and she was in danger of being hurt even worse. So she took advantage to make sure that it would not happen. Yep. And at the same time, she kept in her character as well. She probably made it seem like she was doing that just to be her character and get out of the way so that she could be one step closer to winning the titles.
Mm-hmm. That's what I loved about it.
That's why Becky Lynch. Let's just say another thing. We'll say one thing for right now. The match itself was not the best. We'll say that.
No, it wasn't. It was. God, this is hard to talk about. It was okay. I wouldn't say average. I mean, they tried. It just wasn't. Let's just say it wasn't as good as last year's main event with Asuka, Becky, and Asuka, Becky, and Charlotte. My bad. Yeah. That match was actually good. I don't know if it's because they all gelled well together. I don't know what it was. I mean, this match just kind of fell flat. I don't know if it's because Kairi Sane's injury or something like that. It was just something just didn't click with this match with me. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, in my opinion,
maybe it's just because I don't know. The women main event, the last pay-per-view. I'll save it till the end.
Yeah, I really think when it comes to this match that they really should have probably considered quickly ending the match right after Kairi got hurt, because when you're in a serious situation like this where someone has a concussion, you gotta be ready to prepare for the worst. If somebody gets hurt just like that, you gotta make sure that you gotta find a way to make sure that the ending the match ends so that the wrestler can get help, and at the same time keep on the show going on. And that can be extremely difficult to do when you go in with a single plan. In my opinion, though, you should not go into wrestling with one single plan. You should have it all the way to A, B, down to fucking Z.
Multiple plans, multiple situations, and multiple outcomes to finish the match when somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. But
for example, I believe Chris Jericho and I believe it was Adrian Neville when he broke his ankle or whatever back in 2014, I think.
Yes.
And they had a plan for that. And that's just one example. There's so many examples when the wrestlers actually come up with moves on the fly when someone gets injured. It's just one, And it's like nobody really had a backup plan. Really think about it until the very ending.
And also, another thing that happened was, we got another rope involved in the mix, and that was used a lot. And in my opinion, that was actually a really cool thing. Like a moment where Becky Lynch was climbing the ladder, and then Asuka was pulling the rope that was attached to the ladder. And in my opinion, that was actually a cool spot.
That reminded me of John Cena and Randy Orton from 2013. God, that was a nightmare.
That was awesome. Asuka ascended the ladder, retrieved the belts to retain the titles. Kabuki Warriors are still the women's tag team champions right now, which is a good thing because
happy
to see Becky and Charlotte to win the tag titles would not be a good idea whatsoever. They're only teaming because they both have a personal vendetta here.
And it wasn't needed.
And besides, Becky is still the Raw Women's Champ, the longest reigning Raw Women's Champ. And let's talk about another thing really quickly before we get to the last part of the match that you want to talk about, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The only titles that were on the line at this pay-per-view were the 3 tag titles.
That's great. Tag team divisions were actually showed on this show. I liked it.
And the Bray Wyatt Miz match was not for the Universal title because, like we said, the Miz was not interested in the title. He just wanted Bray Wyatt.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, at least the champion competed, unlike WWE champion Brock Lesnar, who we are just mentioning now.
Oh yeah, we're just mentioning the WWE champion, who by the way, the show was held in his home state and hometown.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, Brock. Oh, but you're gonna show up for the Royal Rumble, right? Right? Better.
No women's title were defended. No mid-card title was defended. No world title was defended. Hell, not even King Corbin's crown was defended or whatever.
That is what should have been on the line now that I think about it.
Yeah.
His crown should have been hung from the ceiling. Yeah, King Reigns. King Roman. That sounds very good.
Not bad.
King of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
That's a good ring to it.
It does, actually. Anyways, Heel Balor, you want something you have to say about the main event?
Yes, sir, I do. It's not necessarily about the main event. It's about basically how the whole pay-per-view went off the air and kind of wrestling, women's wrestling in general.
Oh, yes. People. I forgot. I can't believe I actually forgot to mention that. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's make this all about this.
I'll just simply make sure that I'll just put up a small mention of what happened, and then I'll let you describe how you felt about it. Asuka won the match, got the belts off the hook, only celebrated for about 20 seconds. 20 seconds! Before
and then
the event ends with a huge brawl happening at ringside, which I can understand in some ways why the brawl was taking place, but it was at the wrong time to do it. This is the hype of the Royal Rumble event because everybody's going to fight in the Rumble match. Okay, that's fine. I can understand that, but you're raining on Asuka's parade here.
Correct.
She hasn't done shit that much throughout this entire year, and all of a sudden she finally gets a big victory, and poof!
Boom! Taken away from her.
Roman Reigns performs a spear on King Corbin from an elevated platform onto everybody. Yay! It's like Ring Around the Rosie. We all fall down, and then we go off the air. All right, Heel Balor, go ahead.
Yeah, Christian, you can chime whenever you freaking please. I don't give a crap. Let me just say this. The ending. Now, I'm usually the one who kind of stays away from wrestling Twitter with the women. I don't really like getting into disputes with people on Twitter about women's wrestling because people have different opinions and some people can't take opinions very lightly. I know some people. And with this, I can actually kind of fall in that category of where they are kind of right. Like the women's, their star power and their star, the star was taken away from them. The spotlight was taken away from them. Let me try that again. The spotlight was taken away from them during the ending of that. Now, as Christian said, I can also understand why they did it. Probably because Kairi Sane couldn't, celebrate. But are you serious? You end the show with King Corbin and his gang of merry men fighting with Roman and his pack, I guess? Oh, God. And that stuff, are you serious? You really have the show go off the air with, a huge brawl, which, as Christian said, is type for the Royal Rumble. That's great. Great. I'm very excited for the Royal Rumble. Can't wait to talk about it. But that's in a few weeks. That's only 6 weeks or 5 weeks away. You have many weeks to build that up. I don't understand why you ended the show with a huge brawl. Really, you could have. I believe didn't they start in the back or whatever with that brawl or whatever?
Yeah, it started off right before the main event took place, and even during the main event, the commentators briefly mentioned, "Oh, that brawl we just are told is still going on right now." And I'll be honest, when I first heard that, I just laughed, saying, "Ha, that's actually funny to think about." While we're having a nice TLC match, there's a brawl going on backstage, and nobody cares. That's actually funny.
Yep.
And
then they come out and ruin everything.
Here's the thing. How about this right here? What if Asuka managed to pose with Kairi Sane for about 5 minutes or something like that, whether on the top of the ladder or in the ring, and then later on the stage, and then as they're leaving, all of a sudden it cuts to the brawl.
That's when it should have happened. I think that's what was supposed to happen, is that they were supposed to celebrate, and then they were supposed to brawl.
Oh,
I think it's because basically Kairi Sane was injured.
I got something right here.
What you got?
Got a message from my bro, Longneck Josh. Shout out to you, man.
What's up, Josh?
He tagged on his story on Instagram. This is somebody tweeted Wrestle Features. You know that Twitter account, Wrestle Features?
Yes, I do.
Listen to this right here. This is the third time Asuka's been overshadowed. Think about this.
The third time. Wait, what?
Listen, this is gonna get you really mad. You ready to get really mad?
I always am.
2018, Asuka wins the Royal Rumble. That's overshadowed by the debut of Ronda Rousey. Asuka finally wins the women's title at TLC that year, overshadowed by the interference of Ronda Rousey. Asuka wins the main event at TLC this year. Instant camera cut to Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns brawling.
Stop overshadowing Asuka. And don't even get me started about her. This is way back in April, but don't even get me started on her losing the women's title to Charlotte. This woman has had not a good year. What is going on with this company? Oh, she's had a good match with Becky Lynch. Oh, she's with Kairi Sane. Was managed by Paige and stuff like that. But what else has she done? She's been overshadowed, and it's not fair. Give her her own spotlight. She's probably, quote-unquote, rumored to be fighting Becky Lynch again at the Royal Rumble. Great. Rematch. Whoop-de-freaking-do. I'm excited. Can't wait to talk about it if it happens. But this is current. This is still 2019. Please do something with Asuka. Please. Please. And, yeah, the big thing. Christian, you can try whatever you freaking want. I don't care. The whole thing with basically wrestling, and I gotta say it here, I don't know if you've noticed this, Christian, but do you think is there like a agenda behind this whole women's push with everybody?
At this point,
do you think that there's like a agenda or something like that? I gotta say, feminism agenda. Yeah, I said it, folks. Feminism agenda behind women's wrestling at this point. Like they're trying to try to silence male wrestling or whatever. I don't know. Because I can totally understand where everyone's coming from. I can see where from everyone's point of view. But I think that, for example, they main evented Survivor Series. Great. They main evented TLC. In my opinion, it wasn't needed. That's just the thing. Women have this year, mainly this year in general, has overshadowed. No offense, not trying to be anything sexist here at all. Where y'all write in the comments below, Heel Balor is sexist. I'm not. You all know me by now. I think. All right, one second. All right. Christian, basically, what is your opinion on women's wrestling as a whole this year in 2019? That's what I'm trying to say, basically. And do you think that there's an agenda behind it? Get back in a second.
Yeah, no problem. Honestly, if I'm just going to be perfectly honest, the women's division this year has done okay in some ways. In other ways, it has just gotten a little too much out of the cool things. It started off really good with really good promise when Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble match and was going to be facing off against Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. The storyline with Ronda, Becky, and Charlotte leading into WrestleMania was absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely loved it. And of course, when we found out the women were going to main event WrestleMania, it was also exciting. The match went on really good. Sure, it had a botch ending, but it was a historic situation nonetheless. Then other matches took place. Becky Two Belts was annoying, yes, but however, she did really good and keeping things in a good pace. The women, of course, they took once again Becky and Sasha. They had a good Hell in a Cell match. Then, of course, we had the first ever women's Saudi Arabia match, which I thought was really historic and wonderful. The match sure was flat, but
heck yeah,
the message was still spread out there. The first ever NXT first ever women's War Games match was fantastic and amazing, and I loved every bit of that when I watched it live. The one thing I will say is, I believe there is an agenda here, but the problem is they're focusing too much on just a few women here. You look at the women in the main event. Yeah, looking at the main event of WrestleMania, we're mostly looking at them. I mean, sure,
that's what I don't like.
Ronda Rousey's no longer here now. Well, I'm sure she'll be back someday, but she's not. She was not present for a majority of 2019. Becky Lynch, while she is amazing at what she does, eventually you gotta say though that she can't always be on top without somebody having really good competition. And I mean, they tried focusing on Lacey Evans, but that didn't exactly work out well.
Nope, and then Lacey Evans is a babyface. What's he freaking do? And I'm actually enjoying it, surprisingly.
Yeah. Lacey Evans is doing a lot better nowadays than she did when she first came in. Charlotte Flair.
Well, that's another thing. They also forced the entire Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins shit down our throats this year. Don't even get us started.
Yeah, so we've been focusing mainly too much on that. introducing the women's tag titles was a big mistake. We'll admit that, yes.
A huge mistake, I guess in my opinion. I think it's just, they were just trying to fuel another agenda there. Another thing that people really wanted this year, Christian, Evolution. I wouldn't mind seeing another Evolution.
I'll be honest.
Is it needed?
I wouldn't mind seeing that either, but in my opinion, without Ronda Rousey, there isn't much hype to it.
And here it comes the big question, Mr. Miracle. So many people don't want Ronda Rousey back because they say that she basically has ruined the women's division, that she would ruin it with basically her legitimacy.
No, hell
that
no.
She is not needed.
In my opinion,
so you're telling me, ladies and gentlemen, she's not needed. Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, because of when people ask me that question, saying that Ronda Rousey's ruined the division, I will hereby redirect you to WWE 24, the Ronda Rousey story. Watch that.
Bingo.
Watch the Ronda Rousey story, and you'll realize that she did not show in, and she was afraid herself that she would look like that.
Yep.
She came in because she wanted, and you know what she always did? What Ronda Rousey always did was praised all the women backstage.
Every single one of them.
Even those who hang around. She praised freaking Dana Brooke. Dana freaking Brooke.
Dana Brooke, who in my opinion, not legitimately, my opinion is a nobody who's apparently going left with Batista. Congratulations, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
that's awesome.
That's
weird.
We really don't care, honestly.
No, we don't. No, we don't. It's weird. Congratulations, if that's true. That's a good example, Christian. It's no good example. I don't know, man. Like another evolution with Ronda Rousey. Like that's what we're talking about, correct? Ronda Rousey. I understand so many people do not like Ronda Rousey. I know people in general who are friends of mine who don't like Ronda Rousey. If you don't like Ronda Rousey, that's fine. Totally fine. I can respect your opinion. For people to go out there and say Ronda Rousey isn't needed in the women's division, who else is there to hold down the division? And don't you dare say the Four Horsewomen. Don't you dare say the Four Horsewomen, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, they're holding down the division currently, but they're the only ones who are actually been in storylines. Where's everybody else?
Yeah,
Seriously.
we can take a look at the women's tag team champions like Asuka and Kairi Sane. Whether they're a team, if you want to have them as a team, that's totally fine. But we have to make sure that they get prominent spots. Not to mention the fact that Asuka is still the longest reigning NXT Women's Champion in history and was undefeated longer than Goldberg.
Yep, nobody can touch that. Nobody.
Well, unless somebody lasts longer than her on being undefeated, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Asuka, in her entire NXT run, never lost a freaking match. Not one single match.
She gave up the title.
Because she was moving on.
She was an opportunity.
And there's like what I'm saying, of course, is like, and now that even Kairi Sane, we've seen how she performs in singles competition. We're like, seeing her and Asuka team up, in my opinion, should have been a dominant force.
Yep.
I mean,
we didn't know where it was going to go.
How cool would it be? I mean, it was cool at first, when Paige showed up and introduced them together. I was actually excited.
Oh, yeah.
And then, of course, Paige got kicked to the curb.
Or spat to the curb, if you know what I mean. Green mist and shit. It's just funny.
She got kicked to the curb. Asuka and Kairi turned heel, which in my opinion was really cool because I like seeing them as heels.
That's needed.
But the same problem is, like, hell, I don't know why I'm saying this, but you could have done more than just with them, and you could have done more than just with Alexa Bliss. And this is coming from somebody who's a massive fan of Alexa Bliss. I love Alexa Bliss. I've been on her side all the freaking time, but even I'm saying, okay, we get it. I think it's time we need to start focusing on this person or that person. We can bring in all these new women. Why are you doing that when you can't even build up the ones you currently have? Freaking, I can't believe I'm saying this. Carmella, why is she running with R-Truth? Why was she running with R-Truth? And then, of course, the brand split happened. Now they're no longer running together. But even then, Carmella's still not doing well. Carmella is really...
Because she's separate from Truth. And
Carmella's doing really good.
R-Truth made her relevant.
Yeah, Carmella is a really great athlete. She's done really good.
She's fantastic. She has interesting fans out there, but she's great.
2-time Miss Money in the Bank. She was the first one to cash in to win the SmackDown Women's title after WrestleMania in 2018, and that was fun. That was exciting.
Yes.
Dana Brooke, Dana Brooke, she is right now, as we all know, a catering nobody, but she is...
Isn't a nobody.
She's highly athletic, and you've seen the way she competes.
Oh, I'm not going to take that away from her at all. She's fantastic. I give her all the credit in the world.
Even here's like Ember Moon. She's currently out with an injury right now, so she has she has an Achilles tendon injury. So for now, her not competing is understandable. Nia Jax is also out with double knee injury, and not to mention, of course, can we please talk about that once again? The horrible treatment that people were giving Nia Jax.
We can. This is our podcast. We can go as long as we freaking please. I want to talk about that. Nia Jax, I can totally understand why people were so angry at Nia Jax. Oh, she broke Becky Lynch's face. She broke Becky Lynch's nose. That was all, I still think to this day was an accident. I don't think she meant to do that. And people were legitimately wishing death upon her. You were wishing death on her because of an accident. People who really go this far make me sick. That goes for really anybody professional. It doesn't matter who you are. If you send death threats to anybody, it doesn't matter if it is wrestling. Don't go that far. But on the Nia Jax topic, people are saying, oh, she's, I hate to go there, but people are saying that she's fat, she's not out of shape, she's not athletic. Who the heck are you to say something about that's somebody else? Like, who are you?
Yeah,
who are you to say that about said individual?
That makes them a bully.
A big bully. Don't be a bully, be a star. Well, that actually comes into play. Don't be a bully, be a star.
I know. Think about this.
Natalya. So many people are pissing on Natalya. You know how many people have been saying, oh, she needs to go back to Canadian land. Oh, go back because you're not talented. Oh, she's nothing but a catering, joker. Oh, she can't wrestle. Natalya, in my opinion, is very talented. Sure, she might not be on TV all the time, but she, in my opinion, is a great wrestler.
And not to mention, Natalya is a veteran of professional wrestling. She's done this for over 10 years. She's been in WWE for over 10 years. At this point, she's a leading factor in the women's division, and even when she's not competing, she's there to help out with the new talent. She
wants to be like a trainer when she wants to retire. When she retires, she wants to be a trainer.
There's like a lot of the women in the WWE right now, they look at Natalya like an older sister.
That's a good thing. You need that teacher and that big influencer to guide you into professional wrestling.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of those people in the backstage area. Sure, Natalya's not used a lot, but people are thinking that she should be released. I'm like, hell no. She's actually look at what she's doing behind the scenes. She's a trainer as well. She's also helping out with a lot of the new talent, giving advice to people who are extremely nervous about what they're going to do because she had the experience in that. And that's why I have ultimate respect for Natalya.
I respect all the women. And we're not even talking about the women of NXT. Look at that, Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler is great at what she does. Wait till Shayna Baszler gets called up. It's going to be great. Is she going to be used as accordingly as everyone thinks she's going to be, as she was used in NXT? Probably not. When, who else is going to get called up? Maybe a Chelsea Green. A Chelsea Green is a nobody. If you look the spoilers up for Raw next week, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Raw was taped this past week 2 times. So I'm not going to say anything that happened on it, but moving on.
Yeah, also, here's another thing. I'm trying to also think about other people who honestly, as much as they're annoying, the Iconics are at least good at wrestling, so why didn't they show it?
Because the main roster didn't allow them. That's why. The main roster didn't allow that. Hence
why they have the most forgettable tag team title reign of all time, and they're the ones who really help make it irrelevant.
And I guarantee you that if those titles were defended in NXT, which they were once, if they were defended on an NXT type level, I'm not saying NXT is the be all end all for everything, but if they were booked like NXT type booking, you know what I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah.
If it was NXT type booking, it would be better. But it's not NXT type booking. This is main roster booking. You look at it differently. Finn Balor said it best. I think he said the main roster is Hollywood and NXT is Broadway or something like that. Something along those lines. That's what Finn Balor said. And he's right. It's like main roster, NXT now is the main roster, obviously. With them being rumored to take over, no pun intended, the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. SummerSlam probably next year. Who knows? I don't know. And back on the whole women's topic, there are so many people out there that think, for example, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch's story, her rise has been fantastic. SummerSlam, all the way here, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Seth Rollins has been great. I'm so proud of her. I couldn't be more happy for the rise of Becky Lynch. The problem is that with Becky Lynch now is that what else is there for her to accomplish? If you really think about it, Christian, what else is there for her to accomplish? She made it at WrestleMania. She defeated Ronda Rousey. She's a 2-time women's champ. Well, technically. Current longest reigning Raw Women's Champion. Soon to be married to Seth Rollins. Won the Royal Rumble. Main event multiple 3 pay-per-views so far. What else is there for Becky Lynch to accomplish?
Well, here's what I hope happens. I hope we get a Becky Lynch versus Asuka rematch at Royal Rumble this upcoming year, because in my opinion, that would work. That would look really good. And
I think it would be great.
I think that'd be good. And Ronda Rousey, that's why I'm saying this should be Ronda Rousey's night to return at the Royal Rumble match. She wins the Rumble, so she can actually go on her path of revenge against Becky Lynch for what happened at last year's Mania when the pin was botched. So she has a liable reason to go after Becky again.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it right here. They do not need to main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a main event at all. Like, here's actually, unless, of course, the storyline is so intense and crazy compared to the others that we're like, holy shit, this has to be the main event. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The one thing that
main event with the Fiend right now, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but like I said, back to what I said about Nia Jax. Currently, she's out with double knee injuries, and we said even here's the thing: a lot of people when she got injured, people were saying you deserve far worse. And that was absolutely disgusting.
Wait, who said that?
There's a lot of fans when Nia Jax got injured with her double knee surgery, they were saying you deserve far worse.
Not cool, man. Not cool.
That is not cool whatsoever. Like, even if you don't like somebody, just shut the hell up and show some respect. And if you don't have any respect, what the fuck's wrong with you? You don't deserve to be called a wrestling fan.
Yeah, if somebody doesn't like your favorite, for instance, Carmella or the Kabuki Warriors, just shut the hell up.
Yeah,
like, I can respect your opinion. We can respect opinions, but if you're being an asshole about it, then be an asshole about it. I forget you.
Yeah, like what I'm saying. Like, here's what I'm saying. Like, those who are not real fans of professional wrestlers are those who have no respect for the real life people who actually work their asses off to entertain people. You don't have to freaking like them or cheer them in the ring. You can boo them and say they suck. You can boo them and say, get them off my freaking TV. I don't really like them. That's fine. Yeah. But when you're going
racist undertones and racist stuff at them, freaking stupid. I hate when people do that. Yeah, I know some people who've done that.
Freaking you're going after the real life people and saying that they are legitimately bad people and saying, like, you know, the real life people who are portraying these characters don't deserve anything, or they're just like
I remember the Sasha Banks fans. This is way off topic. I remember the Sasha Banks fans went after Seth Rollins and they made Seth Rollins delete his Twitter account, which to me that was kind of funny, but at the same time it kind of felt bad for Mr. Colby Lopez, you know. Yeah, the guy can be a douchebag sometimes. Yeah, the guy is very, very sensitive on Twitter and sometimes in real life. But I can understand why Seth, the person, or Colby Lopez, the person, deactivated his Twitter account. And I used his real name because, unlike some of the people out there, I actually have respect for the real life people behind these characters.
Yeah, here's the thing. When it comes to Nia Jax, like, people, you don't have to like Nia Jax. You can hate on her all you want for breaking Becky Lynch's face that one time. But when you're going after the real life person, Savalina Fanine, that's her real name. When you're going after her, saying she deserved those knee injuries, or she deserved far worse, or even death, she deserved to have her career ended, or she deserved to die. When you're saying shit like that, you are not a real wrestling fan. You are pathetic. A pathetic excuse for a human being. You're pathetic. You have no right to be saying this shit. People are saying freedom of speech. Well, here's the thing. If you say there's freedom of speech, there's also consequences to your said freedom of speech, all right?
There's consequences to your actions and the things you write on Twitter and the things you say in calls and stuff like that. Are you serious? Like, if you're going to... Like, for example, when Finn Balor got hurt, I didn't see anyone go after him. Oh, Fergal Devitt needs to get injured again. Oh, Fergal Devitt needs to go break his neck. Oh, I remember some people said Daniel Bryan needs to go back and break his neck. Someone on Twitter wrote that a few months ago.
Actually
No, not you, Christian. I remember one time you did that, but someone else did that. Yeah, someone else said that before.
This is actually an example I wanted to bring up. I even admit, yes, 2.5 years ago, when Daniel Bryan was the general manager, I got pissed off with some decisions he did. My anger got really crazy, and I legitimately tweeted out that I wish he would break his neck again. And then after I realized that was a horrible thing for me to say, you know what I did? I deleted the tweet, but then I didn't ignore it. I posted another tweet, and I said I took full responsibility for what I said. I had no excuse, and I apologized to my fans. I did a public apology immediately because I realized that was a bad idea. Because I realized, oh shit, I said something extremely disrespectful. I made a mess, so I have to clean it up.
See, guys, Christian manned up. I don't understand why some of these degenerates out there, like, for example, I know a few people who actually, won't apologize for what they did. I'm not going to name them off here, but, I'm going to keep going. Some people won't apologize for their actions. Like, for example, I got a few people who say that the Kabuki Warriors are garbage. Why are they tag teaming? Oh, they're this and that. They suck. Well, for that said individual, keep your mouth shut. Keep your lips zipped and just respect other people's opinions. And, if you want to go that far and call them, pathetic, if you want to call them racist stuff like that, or they need to go back, like the said individual said, they need to go back to Japan. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, literally. I'm not going to name this individual. I want to keep that under wraps. But, yeah, fuck you. That's all I got to say to that said individual. like, if you're going to go that far to insult the individual, we're not talking about the wrestler. We're talking about the said person behind the character. You know, that's disgusting. That's pathetic. And people who say that in professional wrestling, anywhere, that can go for anywhere. This is all professional wrestling. Like, if you were to say it to anybody, that's pathetic. A waste of space. You are a waste of space. You are not a human being. You are not of this world. Let's just say you're not of this world, and you don't deserve to like have social media. That's why social media should be taken away from you. And if you can't respect other people's opinions, you are nothing more than a
degenerate.
I'm not going to say the word, the S word. Yeah, I'm just going to. Can I say it?
Which S word are we talking about here?
The thing that when it snows, what falls from the sky?
Snowflake.
Yeah, you're a snowflake. Yeah, I'm going to say it there. You're a freaking snowflake. A pathetic snowflake. You're a pathetic snowflake is what you are. Yeah, I said it. Get pissed off in the comments down below. That's what I'm here for. You're a pathetic snowflake, a waste of space, and you don't deserve to be on social media. Sensitive little idiots. And you're all wondering, oh, why are you ending the podcast like this? Then first of all, this is the last podcast of 2019, and this is the last podcast of the decade. We want to end this stuff on a banger, and this is what we're here for. You see, we're here not only because of professional wrestling, we're here to educate some of you guys. You know, some of you guys, you do need education. Some of you guys need to get your foot out of your freaking ass and just at least listen to somebody. You know, sit down on the couch. Listen to us. Listen to somebody else. We're not just here to talk about pro wrestling. We're here to talk about other things and educate you idiotic morons. We're not talking to our fans who actually have a freaking brain. We're talking about people out there who actually, think and take things in life very seriously. You know what I mean? Like, I got so many people out there who like, oh, Heel Balor is nothing but a, mark, a smart. The Losers Lounge is nothing but, you guys are, basically just your copy of all other podcasts. You guys say everything that everyone else says. You're copycats. Well, let me just say it's the internet and everyone can copy off of anyone. Nobody is original on the internet. Get lost. Freaking facts.
Here's also another thing I wanted to bring up. This also was cool when it comes to Nia Jax. Another reason people were hating on her as well is because, she made history. She was the one who made history at the Royal Rumble earlier this year. She became the first person, not woman, person, man or woman in history to compete in 2 Royal Rumble matches on the same night.
That is history right there. I'm going to give her all the credit in the world. I might be the biggest Nia Jax fan, but that's freaking insane. That's insane. That's great. All the credit to her.
Yeah, she's also the 4th woman to compete in a men's Royal Rumble match, and she is also the only person to have made successful eliminations in the same night to both the men and women. Of course, when it comes to men and women's Royal Rumble match, we can say, Beth Phoenix started that out. By that, I'm saying she's the first person to have competed in the men's and women's. That's Beth Phoenix. That's good.
That's crazy. Still history being made. Just goes back to what I said. I respect what the women have done. That's fantastic. But there's also, that said majority, and there's also an agenda behind it that I just don't agree with. Oh yeah, by the way, guys, we are completely done with TLC, by the way. I hope you guys really enjoyed the review.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're way off topic of TLC. This is beyond TLC, obviously. But yeah, that's mainly all I wanted to say, Christian. Yeah, if these people don't get it, that's fine. They can still sit on their computers and type away and be the trolls that they are. And we'll continue to do what we got to do is make entertainment and talk professional wrestling and make people happy. That's what we got to do. Yeah. Anything else you want to say in closing?
Well, from what I will say is it's been absolutely fun to continue to talk with Heel Balor here and talk with other people on the Losers Lounge podcast. What I will say, I want to take a quick moment and say that some of my favorite moments of the Losers Lounge podcast from this year had to be, for one thing, the 6-hour podcast at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah. It was fun.
Any of the 4-hour podcast talk about the Royal Rumble. The one where we talked to his SummerSlam with Long Neck Josh.
That was fun.
And who knows what's going to happen for 2020, but what I will say is, no matter what goes on, I'm just thankful I got my group of friends who not only we gather just to talk about wrestling, but we gather to help each other out when the other is down.
Yep. Whenever one of us are down, this is a little bit behind the scenes of the lounge. Whenever one of us is down, we're always there to pick each other up every freaking time. It happens,
Yep, that's what we're here for, and that's why we're here together to talk about the Losers Lounge. And honestly, doing these podcasts is a good way to just put everything else to the side. Nothing else matters.
And some of the stuff, this is a little behind the scenes also as well with me. Yeah, sometimes things in my life don't really go the way that I, plan. and sometimes you get pent up anger and emotion. And being on this podcast, which I still can't believe is still a real thing, I like getting all the anger. I love getting all the rage out. So this is why you always hear me, quote unquote, ranting or like getting insane or whatever. It's just I'm trying to release myself and trying to release the anger and the rage. It's like it's great. I love doing that, and also educating people. That's what I love to do. You guys always know me as the guy who spreads positivity online. Behind these eyes can be a very dark soul, obviously.
And then of course,
I love spreading the positivity and shit. But it's been a fantastic ride. What else? My favorite part of the podcast.
2018 and 2019 Losers Lounge Member of the Year, right?
Yes, I am. 2-time. Next year, I don't know what the future holds for Heel Balor. As we all know, the entire thing with Copa and this shit that's coming with YouTube next year. We'll still be around, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. The Losers Lounge ain't going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. I'll still be around.
If anything going on with the whole situation with Copa is going to affect us in any way, shape, or form, what we're going to do is we're going to continue the podcast just in a different way, because since you're all connected with us on social media, we're always going to be able to give you guys updates saying, hey, if you want to find us, we're going to be over here now. Because YouTube or not, the Losers Lounge is going to keep going.
Yeah, nothing can stop us in 2020, whether it's on YouTube or another platform. We'll still be around.
Yep. But ladies and gentlemen, of course, that concludes our podcast for this year.
Christian, wait. I want to say my favorite parts of 2019.
All right, go ahead.
Podcast-wise. All right, let's see. Royal Rumble, I really enjoyed doing that one. WrestleMania obviously was great. 6-hour podcast, which I still don't think is going to be defeated. I love doing the SummerSlam one with Josh, Jason. I think Ryan was on there too. Can't remember who was on there. Gotta go back and watch it. I really enjoyed doing a little bit of the AEW stuff. I really enjoyed that. Hell in a Cell was great. Love that. Our guests. We want to thank our guests this year that we've had.
Yes, we want to thank some of our favorite guests include Sock Monkey Mike, who's an Optimistic Hall of Famer now as well.
Woo!
And of course, Losers Lounge is also Optimistic Hall of Famers.
We are myself, Ryan, Kels, Connor, and Christian Maracle himself. Yep.
Actually, not me. I'm not inducted.
Oh, well, just myself and Ryan and Connor and Kels. Oh, well.
Sock Monkey Mike, he was also one of my favorite guests, especially he was on for Money in the Bank and Survivor Series. Steven, can't forget about Steven.
Steven, I know you're watching, brother. I know you watch this podcast religiously, man. I love you to death. You're my brother. It's been a hell of a ride this year. It's been great meeting you this year. It's great having you on the podcast. Has been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, he really knew he really knew a lot of what he was saying. He gave a lot of detailed explanations in his stuff, and that's what we loved about this.
Big props to you, brother. Did a hell of a job. Who knows? We'll probably see you in 2020.
Adam's Wrestling Review. Adam's Wrestling Review. Who won the 2018 Losers Lounge Guest of the Year award last year.
Yep.
He was back for this year as well. Amanda Tackett as well.
Much love, Amanda. You're like a sister to me. It's been a hell of a ride.
I got to say, anytime we had guests, they were always amazing. We're going to try everything we can to have some new guests for 2020. Some old ones may come back. However, we want to try our best to get some new ones in. Leo the Phenom.
Much love, Leo.
Yep. X.
X.
Actually,
that one.
Even
I
though
forgot about him being on this year.
Not this year, no, but we just want to give a shout to him.
Big shout out, buddy. Love you.
Can't forget, of course, Andrew Harrington.
Andrew, the entire thing at Summer. That's WrestleMania. WrestleMania, that stuff was hilarious. Your mic cutting out. It was great. I freaking loved it. Great.
Long neck Josh.
I'll let you take this one first, Chris.
Well, let's say my brother Josh and I he was the reason he managed to get on our podcast in the first place was because his flight to Toronto got delayed another day. So he's like, "Oh shit, I got nothing to do." So he's like, "Hey guys, did you do the podcast yet?" "No." "Can I join?" "All right, yeah, sure, fine." One of our guests was not going to make it anyway. So Josh joined in.
He messaged me that day and he's like, "I'm on the podcast, bro." I'm like, "What?" I was so excited.
And of course, can't forget about giving out a shout out to the 2019 Losers Lounge Guest of the Year, being Adam.
All right, one second. I want to shout out to Josh here. Josh, much love, brother. It's been a hell of a year. We've grown closer and closer to this year. I think more than ever since last year. It's great to have you as a friend. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Hope to get to meet you in person one day. And keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Yep.
Adam, let's get to it. Adam. Let's talk about him.
Yep, like he appeared on the review for Royal Rumble earlier this year.
Correct.
And he did a really good job talking about what the things he really liked, and he was very entertaining. Right. He had a good time. I could just tell, I could hear the enthusiasm in his voice because he was so excited.
He loved it. He freaking loved it, dude.
And that just made us all the more excited, too, to be working with him. And
he's great.
Storyline-wise, right now, like he and I are in a situation where he stole my Sinfinity Gauntlet, and we got more plans for that coming up in what's going to come up late for another time. But, yes, Adam is a really wonderful friend of mine. I'm honored to have inducted him into the Optimistic Hall of Fame as well this year. As a matter of fact, Adam can also say he's the only guy to win 5 Optimistic Awards and the first ever Hall of Fame induction. So
Congrats.
That goes to Adam.
Jason.
That's right.
He was on
Jason. Like, how great was it when he was like on the SummerSlam podcast?
It was great. I remember hitting him up, and I'm like, "You want to get on the podcast, bro?" He's like, "Sure, why not?" It was great to have him on. Great guy.
But there's one ultimate highlight I want to talk about. Are you ready?
Let's hear it.
Kamikaze.
Let's talk about it. Kamikaze.
Since the rivalry is no longer a thing, we'll tell you guys, we're finally giving you a reveal behind the scenes of what this was really like. And as everybody knows, in the first couple months of this year, I turned heel and started having a feud with Kamikaze that was supposed to lead up to a match at WrestleMania, but due to people unfortunately giving me real life threats, saying that I was legitimately being a douche and that they were going to track me down at WrestleMania, that caused me to have severe anxiety because people were thinking this was a real life situation. That caused me to have severe panic and anxiety attacks, and we had no choice but to call it off because my doctors were telling me that this would be too much for my mental health to handle. And that pissed me off, and that pissed Kamikaze off.
Mm-hmm.
Because even he reveals, like, hey, bro, like, I'll be honest, he told me, like, hey, bro, if this had actually happened, if people actually tracked you down, don't worry, I got your back in real life.
That's friendship right there.
Yeah, here's the thing. We may be feuding, we may have been feuding at the time, but, like, in real life, we're, like, really close, and, I really hope to hopefully one day we might have a way to continue this, and we might still have a chance to have the match with Kazi and Maracle.
Yeah, Kamikaze, man, like him invading our podcast.
This idea was given by Kamikaze, I believe. He's like, how about this? Like, here's the thing. We've been feuding on social media and stuff and posting a couple YouTube videos, but you really love doing the Losers Lounge podcast, and I've always wanted to appear in some sort of capacity. How would it be if we staged something where I would be, like, I would invade? So, like, here's the thing. We contacted Kama. We were about to do our Fastlane predictions for that event.
Right.
We waited for Kamikaze, and on Skype before we started to record, we went over how this is going to go. We were going to do the usual intro, act like everything is just normal, and then after I say a certain line, that's when he's going to come in. And when he is, like, and he was going to start saying a bunch of insults to me, and then telling the loser, saying, I got respect for you guys, but stay the hell away from Christian because he can't be trusted. That made the rest of Ryan and Willie to get pissed off.
Yes. You all remember me just going off on Kamikaze. Like, you can go back and watch it. And I remember, also a little behind the scenes, Christian told us to make a response video to Kamikaze. I remember I made one, and it got, like, lots of views. I was like, oh my God, like, I went bananas in that one. Like, I want to give a little shout out to my friend Amanda, because she kind of motivated us a little bit to get in the groove. Because myself and Ryan, as you all know, behind the scenes, a little bit of the Loser Lounge, we are very
nice guys,
very quiet, polite, kind individuals.
But yet, I will say one thing.
Never really got off like that before.
What I will ask you then, Willie, is how good did it feel to be a bad guy?
Well, an actual heel, it was fantastic because I never in my life, I'm not a wrestler, I'm not an actor, anything like that. I was very surprised, and I was very surprised by the fan response, especially that they actually received me well, and myself. I was very surprised that I myself, as a Heel Balor, he actually came out. It was great. I channeled man to Prince Devitt, and obviously Finn Balor, same person. Whatever. I channeled man to Prince Devitt. It was great. I loved it. I enjoyed it. Kama, hit me up, brother. It's great meeting you this year. Thanks for invading our podcast, and get your ass down the line.
Can't believe you would ever say. I can't believe you would ever say, Willie, I can't believe you would ever say, thank you for invading our podcast.
I know, yeah, thanks for invading our podcast, man. Like, it was great.
Thank you for ruining everything. Thank you for ruining everything.
It was great. I loved it.
It was an absolute honor for you to ruin everything.
Yeah, thanks for ruining our podcast. Anything else we're missing? I think that's it.
No, that's it.
Wait. Is that it?
Yeah, I think.
Are you sure we're not forgetting anybody?
No, I think that's good.
I think that's it. That's it.
All previous other guests appeared in 2018.
Oh yeah. Huh?
Here's the thing. KELSEY, she only appeared on a couple of episodes this year because these days she is not really much appearing for podcasts this time because I think she also is done with social media because I think she's starting to move on.
KELSEY kind of just floated on. She's still with us. She still kind of checks up on us a little bit.
Yeah, I still occasionally check up on her too. Like however, here's the thing, guys. I think when it comes to the Losers Lounge, I think it's safe to say KELSEY, while she will forever be part of the group, it may be highly unlikely that she'll come back to the Losers Lounge podcast.
So we're just going to tell it now.
You don't have to be
she's retired of things.
Yeah,
who knows?
You don't have to be part of the podcast to be a loser.
Exactly. And by the way, guys, before I start typing the comments, no, the lounge does not accept members. No. We're all in this together. We're not doing that. I think we explained this last year that we're not Losers Lounge members or anything like that.
The Losers Lounge is not just a podcast. The Losers Lounge is a group of people, like a group of 5.
A group of 5, and that's it.
Yep.
That is it.
And even Connor has appeared sporadically. He has appeared in 3 podcast episodes this year, and
right.
So he hasn't done.
Connor, you doing good?
These days he plays basketball. I've seen updates on his social media. Go follow him on his social media. The links are in the description. He gives good details on what's going on with his games. He's very happy.
He does.
And I think he might be going into wrestling training more in February, so keep an eye out for him.
Yes.
So Connor, while he may not be appearing much on the podcast, he has been telling us that he still wants to come back, but because of his schedule, things have been a little difficult for him. That's why for a majority of this year, those who have been active on the podcast is myself, Willie, and Ryan. Ryan's not here today because we noted before he's not feeling good. Willie has not missed a single episode this year whatsoever.
Everyone's favorite.
I have missed several episodes because of either I was busy, I was out, or I was not doing well myself because of depression or illness.
Yep.
Some Losers Lounge episodes that were originally scheduled got canceled due to scheduling conflicts from all of us.
Yep.
But even despite all that, we're like a group of friends. Like the Losers Lounge, the podcast part is just the entertainment value for the fans. We're a group of people who are big time wrestling fans. We've been friends for over, like for Willie and I, it's been I've been a fan for 20 years. But for Willie, how long has it been for you?
12 years. 12 years.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience in watching wrestling. We have a lot of like things we like talking about, and we have a lot of fans who support us. And I know that these podcasts, these things, they rarely reach 1,000 views, but that's still fine to us.
You know, the views to us really don't matter. What matters is that you guys come and you watch. That's what matters. We don't care if you type angry comments in down below. We don't care if like you hate us or anything like that. What matters is like you watch. We actually care if our haters watch us. We really don't. Like, we're not that type of podcast you like discredit our haters or discredit our fans. Now, granted, we do get angry at our fans sometimes when they do stupid stuff. And we do sometimes go off topic on certain things. It's just we want to, sometimes change the subject. Or just get the mood a little bit more amped up. That's what we're here for. And we love talking wrestling. Like, I never thought, in reality, we actually started this podcast 3 years ago. I never thought that would be a part of something like this. A podcast, a legit podcast with people I didn't even know about, legitimately. 3 years ago, I did not know a dang thing about Christian, Ryan, Carter, or Kels. And, here we are 3 years later. And, going into the 4th year in 2020. We're going in there. We're going with our heads held high. Wherever it's going to be. It could be on YouTube. Could be on, I don't know where it's going to be. Who knows? But I will say it's been a hell of a ride.
So like I said before, guys, hopefully we have our fingers crossed that maybe we could get a future podcast return for both Connor and KELSEY if and when the time is right. But we're just letting you guys know if that's what you're hoping for, just don't hold your breath right now, okay? Because even if they're not
Yeah.
here, that doesn't mean that they're not with us at all.
Yeah, we're seeing so many comments. Where's Kels? Where's Carnage? Y'all fire them. No, here's another little scene behind the Losers Lounge. The thing is, we don't fire people.
Yeah,
we
you can't
actually
be fired from this sort of thing because
Nope.
like the only way people can leave the Losers Lounge is if they themselves decide to, and for good reason too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just
in the past we've had a few people leave, but
Yeah.
just because of good reason.
Yeah, things did not work out well at first, like in the first year, but sometimes that happens. Then we reformed.
That was our growth.
Then we reformed, and now look at us.
Probably the most popular thing, no offense, on your channel outside of the Sins videos. Everyone wants the Losers Lounge. like that's what we're here for. We're here to entertain you guys. This is Willie talking. This is not Heel Balor. This is Willie talking. Like, we're here to entertain you guys. And I want to thank Christian, especially, for letting me be a part of this. Like, this has been a hell of a ride. I'm not going anywhere, obviously. I love doing this stuff. I don't know what I'd rather do than besides getting on here and talking professional wrestling and just talking about stuff in general. Like, I've seen so many comments saying, like, what do y'all guys do outside of wrestling? Can y'all talk about stuff outside of wrestling? I don't know.
Here's the thing,
That's the stuff we've been talking about.
Well, when it comes to us, like, we'll be perfectly honest, like, the majority of the stuff we do outside of wrestling, that's personal life things. And so we don't really talk about it at all because it's our personal family
We keep all that
lives.
stuff to ourselves.
I'll be perfectly honest, like, even if we're legitimately close like family, there are still a number of things we don't share with each other about our family lives.
We've been close for 3 years, and I still kind of consider these guys family. I do. But there's stuff that I don't really tell them unless I'm personally comfortable with telling them. Like, there's stuff I'll tell Ryan, or stuff I'll tell Christian or Kels or Ryan. Like, I'm a very private individual outside of these podcasts. And there's stuff that I just don't really tell my lounge unless I'm comfortable personally in doing that. So that's a little bit of insight in what we do and how basically everything. And then people also wondering, I've been getting so many questions about this on Twitter. They always ask me, do you guys actually sit in the room and record everything? We don't. We don't actually.
We gather on Skype. I mean, I'm sitting currently in my lounge area in my house, and it's in the same place where I make the Sins videos and all the other stuff all the time. Now you have my recording equipment on my compuer, my iMac. Heel Balor, I'll be honest, this is one thing I've always wanted to say. We've done the Losers Lounge for years now. There's still one question I don't know, and that is, I have no idea where the hell all the other losers are located when they do the podcast.
Well, currently I am in my grandparents' house. That's where I usually get the Wi-Fi, because my house has no Wi-Fi right now. It hasn't had Wi-Fi in 3 years now. I'm currently in a bedroom recording, and if you guys hear background noise, because my family is actually out and about. We have a very small house. It's my grandparents' house, actually, as I said. So that's where I record, and that's why usually, if you guys notice, like, I'm always, like, muting myself in the background, because it usually gets pretty noisy around here. I don't think we can answer for the rest of them. Ryan, I think he does his recording in his room, I think. And Ryan has kind of the same recording stuff that Christian has.
Yeah, Ryan, he's a guy, he has his own, like, setup area. We've seen it, and I've seen it on his channel. I'm like, wow, his setup is really cool. It's like you got the wrestling stuff, you got the pop figures in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like...
And Ryan usually, this is another inside fact, Ryan actually does do the recording stuff when Christian's usually absent. So when it's usually myself and Ryan, Christian usually gets the recording, puts it on YouTube, and here we are. That's how we usually do it.
So even if I'm absent, it may be on my channel, but I entrust Ryan and Willie to do the podcast without me, and they have done a wonderful job whenever I've been absent, so thank you guys so much.
Of course. I think the other question is that they always ask us, do y'all use scripts?
No, we don't
use scripts.
The only thing we open up is a list of the matches that took place at the show, just so we can have a quick memory spark.
We're very unscripted. We're unfiltered.
Whatever we talk about is coming from our hearts and our heads at the same time. And that's why here's the thing. That's why we slur some of our words. That's why we say this, you know.
That's why we always mess up, because
it's called coming up with something on the flow, and that's what podcasts usually do. I mean, podcasts that are scripted, they're not as entertaining. No offense.
No offense to any of the real podcasters out there who actually do this stuff. Like, I don't think we'll ever get out there with, like, the Talk is Jericho's or the New Days, New Podcast, whatever. I don't think we'll ever get there, but, like, we'll get far.
I don't think we'll ever get as far as those guys because we're not that popular. Yeah. But, you know, we're okay with that. We're not doing this for the fame. We're not doing this for the fame. We're doing this because we're a group of friends who want to hang out and we want to talk and at the same time entertain people. And we've done a wonderful job at doing that. And hopefully throughout 2020, we're going to continue to do that.
What else is there? A question that they usually give us? I think the one question is that if y'all didn't have the podcast, what would y'all be doing? I don't really know.
I have the perfect answer for that.
What?
Who cares? We do it.
We still do it. We're not really going to go anywhere.
I simply say, who cares? Well, that's like, who cares of what would have happened? Here's the reality.
Here's the other question. I've been asked this question. Have y'all ever considered collabing with others?
Yes, we have considered that.
There have been considerations of us collabing with other YouTubers in the future. We just have to find the right people.
Yep.
We're open to collab with really anybody.
I'll be perfectly honest.
Oh yeah, one more. There's before we get out of here. Are there any rules that the lounge has to follow?
There is, yes. We have a few rules, and that's basically like. Here's the thing.
Let's talk.
We may be like a good chill, but we're really strict about rules, and here's an example of one of them.
Mm-hmm. We are.
If we're if we're doing a podcast, if someone is speaking, everybody else, it's like the Miz is talking. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
Yep.
Because we're not saying this to be rude or anything, but
no.
What we will say is like if you do a podcast and someone is talking, but then all of a sudden you just talk over them, and just like on purpose, just to like get yourself in the mix and not let them continue what they were saying, then
that's rude.
You're not doing that right. You're not doing it right. If you're doing a podcast where you're constantly just like criticizing something, taking shots at things instead of like
especially stuff at personal people.
Yeah, if you do that, then you're not doing a podcast right whatsoever.
Nope.
And here's the thing: there have been times I'll admit
topics sometimes, which we do, obviously.
I'll just admit there are times where we interrupt each other, like Willie just did to me. But even when we do, for one thing, we first off we apologize for interrupting.
Apologies, Chris.
We make a small little statement, and then what do? We let them finish.
Exactly.
Okay, continue what you were saying. I am so sorry for interrupting. Continue what you were saying. Ain't that right?
I think that's it. I mean, I don't know if there's any other questions.
Also,
those are just the main questions I've been seeing on YouTube that people have been sending us. Oh yeah, there's nothing. We don't address our haters. We don't make remarks personally, as Christian said. We don't make remarks personally to anybody that we know in our personal lives or our friends on Twitter. We do like to take shots a little bit, but they're basically just playful shots.
Yeah.
Just a little behind the scenes stuff allows that people have been wondering. We just usually take playful shots at others. We don't mean to do this like to hurt anybody. And if we do hurt everybody, I mean, it kind of happens, but we sometimes apologize.
It's all coincidental. If any of that happens, it's all coincidental. In reality, our most important rule that we have is have fun.
That's what this whole thing's about.
And here's the thing. I remember when we were done our friggin' 6-hour-long podcast, we were all exhausted severely because of all the talking we did, but every single one of us was 100% satisfied with how it went.
Correct. We were like, I remember after the podcast, we legitimately just collapsed. Like, I literally went to sleep afterwards. I was so tired.
Yeah, we went through a lot on that. But no matter what we do, both the losers and our guests, we always feel like, holy shit, we got to do this again.
We do every freaking time. We're always excited. Every Wednesday, or like every time we do these things. Because fun fact, we always record on Wednesdays. Obviously, it's just like I'll see this on Friday sometimes or different days.
Our old schedule used to be we recorded on a Monday or a Tuesday to release on Wednesday. And that schedule changed to a Friday release because things got a lot easier then. Sure, things get a little bit more difficult now because SmackDown's released on Friday, which is the same time that we released this podcast. But you know what? It's okay. We just work with what we got.
We do. I think the other thing is that people have always asked us, like, have you ever considered doing, like, reactions to, like, wrestling shows? That'd be kind of hard to do for us.
Yeah,
we're
not all in the same location, but if we were in the same location, that would probably be a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would be a lot easier. All right, guys.
I think we've answered all your most important questions. We're tired.
Yep. That's why I'm going to label this as not just the TLC 2019 review, but we're also going to recap the year. I guess this is we can qualify this as our 2019 year recap podcast as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were also doing. We were recapping the pay-per-views at the start. We were recapping our favorite moments of the Losers Lounge after we were done talking about TLC. And there we go.
Yeah, I think it's all in the books. 2019.
2019 is... This is, in my opinion, like, it was a stressful year, yes. However, it had some really good moments, and a lot of my favorite moments came from the Losers Lounge. So thank you, Willie. Shout out to Rester Ryan. Shout out to Connor Riley. Shout out to Kelsey. Shout out to any guest who's ever been on the Losers Lounge podcast, either in 2019 or 2018. You guys, honestly, and of course the fans, my optimistic empire, you guys are the absolute freaking best.
Heck yeah.
All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to end the year, end the decade. The next time you see us, we were going to be doing our predictions to NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool 2 the week after the new year begins. So we will be seeing you in 2020. So before we go, Heel Balor, go ahead and take us away.
We are the Losers. This is our lounge. Don't you forget it. We will see you all in the new year. Thank you all for a hell of a freaking year. Too sweet. Peace out.